What's up, everybody? It's me, RDV. Yes, it's still me. I'm shaved. I look 20 years younger now. Uh, what's going on, guys? It's best of the week. Anybody else watching? I say two are on there. One's me on my phone, and one's somebody else on their phone.
Not
That's on
me.
the panel. Not you?
I don't.
Me, if I under yes, I think it's yes.
Yeah. All right. We're the only ones watching. Which is really weird because, like, I understand it's summer, but still, it's like there's nothing really blockbuster going on right now. There's no World Series. There's no earth shattering movies that are out right now. But anyway, though, it's Thursday night. It's time to show off some books. I got some back issues. I got some new issues, and then I got comics. All right. Let's jump right in here. And also joining me as always is Geekeasy and Eric Breen. Zach will be here later, possibly. We don't know. He just comes and goes. He's like one of those dogs. He just goes out the door, and you hope he comes back. But if he doesn't come back, you don't have to pay for it. You know. All right, number 9 for me this week. I'm not sure if it's the final issue, but I got cover B because just not enjoying the cover A's for these series. It's just not fun. I'm surprised. Yeah, this is cover A. This looks retarded. That's why I decided I'll go for this cover. This actually looks more like actiony. Surprisingly enough, this is an issue where Selena actually, for those who recap who have been reading this or dropped off it, she's been overseas, and she originally got with a crew, was hired to work for this crew, do some job. Then she was betrayed, and so basically now she's back, forced in this life, trying to clean up this mess, over all her aliases when over in Europe, and basically. We finally get a Selena Kyle. Selena Kyle pretty much, starts acting like, Catwoman. Because so far she's been kind of like acting like, okay, we're not calling her Selena Kyle. You keep calling her Evie because there's a fake name in it. So everybody calls her Evie. Remind you, that's just Evie Hall. This is Selena Kyle. For the first time, they actually call her Selena Kyle in this book, but nobody in the book knows that she's Selena Kyle, other than herself, the narrator. And basically they want her to help them out with something. And in the end, Selena Kyle does what she does. She actually kicks ass instead of being a idiot. She actually shows that she's actually smarter than them. Outsmarts the family brothers, and outcounts them. They try to get one of the girls that she actually pretend that she's holding hostage. She realizes hey, it's how long you been here for a week? She said, and your clothes don't look dirty as much, and she says yeah, pretty much, she says she said delicate hands, they're bound too loosely in prison for 2 weeks, yet her mascara is still running, perfectly staged, and so the girl, they had a girl that's getting shot because they pretty much want to take her out. Multiple people, and like I said, it's an okay book. It's probably the better of the series because it's wrapping up finally. Like I said, the whole series just feels like not Catwoman, but I guess they're only going to have one or two more issues of this. But overall, like I said, this series is Torn and Runbeck just writing a book that is not starring Catwoman. It's starring somebody. It could be any run of the mill thief, or but at least she's not getting her ass kicked like she's been through this whole entire series. So it's an okay book. It's nowhere near Chuck Dixon or even Joel Jones, or Ram V for that matter. All right, number 8. Number 8, Pastime. This series is surprising me. I thought it was just gonna be a story about an old dude talking to this other guy and telling him a story about when they were younger about this guy Henry who just wanted to play baseball with them and stuff, But there's a surprise twisting at the end here that just caught me off guard. But basically, they go and they play in Monroe, and they play against the Enochs. I guess they're like this over religious baseball team. I think they're in where are they supposed to be? Michigan. And
It's in Ohio, I think.
well, it says maybe no, those boys out of the Michigan back then. I'm not sure. So, regardless, though, we get. I'm not supposed to. This is supposed to be a Humphrey Bogart cameo, but that guy making the joke with a cigarette, but the other guy kind of left. But
one sitting next to Jimmy Cornette.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So basically, they have a baseball game, and these guys seem a little different, than they are. And even Henry starts to notice a little bit. So he's like, "Okay, what's going on?" And so at the end of the game, after one of the guys is basically knocked over, and he's injured because, and he looks at him. He looks at the guy. The guy, he seems like he's really crazy. He's like, "Oh, god damn it!" So then he hits the other guy, and they end up realizing that he's a vampire. And we get more of this information in the book. You get to learn more as that this guy when he was in World War II, that he came across. He said he mentions in France. The last one I saw anybody was rumored as a vampire in France. And so they end up meeting at a church. Apparently, they're ignoring the whole thing, like the house of God, where it burns if you're unholy. And pretty much they have a fight. The guy chastises Henry, saying, "If you're gonna kill somebody, you better make sure you aim for the heart." But then his buddy, I forgot what his name is, and this the black guy. He ends up showing up, and shooting the guy, and then the other guy burns to death. I guess I can't remember, but overall, instead of letting the guy die, at the shocking end of this, and he ends up biting him. So I'm not sure if he's turning him or what. If he's a vampire because obviously he's older, isn't he? In that first issue. So I don't know where this is going with this. But overall, I've been liking it. And then there's a not trailer, I was gonna say, but a preview for Endless Nights, their new book. So art isn't bad in it for the. I mean, that's the interior art they're going to be using for that new book, Endless Nights. But it's okay. But overall, it's a good story.
Yeah, I asked Joe about that. He said the writer was pretty good, so I'm going to give it a shot.
London, yeah, I've seen him on other books before too. I just never read them.
Same here.
Yeah. All right. Number 7, I ended up getting the cover B because how could I pass it up? Frick, I love Taskmaster. He's one of my favorite characters at Marvel. We get more Hank Pym in this. Turns out he was able to get a cure for this Asgardian drug. It's called glitter, and it turns out the basis of this drug uses some type of material. But he says, but I was like, it's a good thing I don't, I already know about this because I call it basically it's Pym particles is what he says. He says Mysterium, he says, he talks about, do you know what Mysterium is made of? He's like, he asked me, I don't know. And he's like, anyway, it's made from ultra compressed carbons. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a reference to Kirby, whatever, Honor, whatever. But he said, he says like these carbons are, I'm able to do neither. So he says production of Mysterium was limited to special tasker with mutants with Coca-Cola, blah blah blah. We remember if you guys read the Hoxpox or not Hoxpox, but Coca-Cola, you kind of know about this. It says neither which exists anymore. The infrastructure is gone. So he says Mysterio is made of kibins, primordial elemental particles that defy explanation far beyond the ken of ordinary scientists. But I was working with kibins almost 20 years ago. He says they're pim particles. So basically, Mysterium is made out of pim particles. Interesting. I don't know if it's a retcon or whatever, I guess. But he's able to make a cure for the glitter. And, well, Mark pretty much says, well, I'm not going to give this to the cop and have a dead cop in my hand because, cure. So I'm going to inject, I'm going to take the drug, glitter. And then I'm going to take this hypothetical cure that Hank Pym made. And pretty much Greer's upset because, like, every single time something has to be done, he always puts, Mark puts himself on the line. And, and she's like, I'm sick of this. You died already. And he basically breaks down because of what Mark does. He says, like, this is what I'm made for, to be punished. And also, I'm a fist conchu. I can come back from this. So we get him throughout the issue. He's locked in this hyperbolic chamber or whatever, and waiting for the cure to kick in. After taking it, and he starts hallucinating, seeing all these other people from the past couple of issues, telling about him. It's like you're selfish. You don't care about anybody else. You're, and to a degree, they're kind of right. In the middle of this, it's such a weird fucking placement for this. But I'm reading this, okay, and then I turn the page. What the fuck do I get a swimsuit ad in the middle of this? And it's such oddly placed too. Yeah. And I have no idea who that's supposed to be on the right, though. I thought it was two gay guys at first. I glanced at it. But Mark ends up going through the drugs, and he's able to basically, he goes in there and he goes to talk to the cop, gives her the cure, says, either you can help me or you can die, But so then after this, Mark decides to call up the Asgardian douchebag and tell him it's like, hey, I know you're looking for your cop lady friend. Don't worry about it. She's cured pretty much of your shitty drug. And he says, and he's like, there's no way possible. He's like, I know because I fucking basically injected myself with the cure after taking the drug. And he's like, basically tells him, I'm burning down all your shit now. So we get this last little final pose of Mark on the rest of the crew. You're ready for battle. Because the whole thing is like there was no cure for this that Mysterium-based drug called glitter. But now they have a cure for it. Mark's able to take the fight to the guy now. He's doing it the smart way. Because first time he got his ass kicked.
Are they going to find a cure for the summertime blues next?
I think that's right on the list after the dad jokes he just started. All right. Number 6. Flash Gordon, number 10. Which says be continued, but but there's nothing, no solicits for the next issues. There's a trade already come out, hardcover already scheduled for like August or September. But there's nothing. It just says next mark for death at the end of this. I hope they're not leaving it on a cliffhanger. It's Mad Cave, but for right now it's the final issue unless they release another one. Sarka pretty much ends up restoring his conscious into a human clone of his original body, and he ends up betraying the robot sentient because he mentions how the sentient it can't let let's work together. And then he mentions after he leaves them to jettison out of the space body, he says, "Hey, you have no empathy. That's a weakness you have, and where the other one, doesn't want him, doesn't like there being two Zarkovs, even though he did it because there's an itch in his conscience. He need to get he need him for specific things that he can do that a robot can't. But meanwhile, we got I guess that's Ming's daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. is escaping with her new husband on the ship, and pretty much Flash Gordon and his wife, Darren, and then their friends, Hawkman and his Hawk son.
Dale.
Sorry, Dale, Darren. At this point,
Well, let's hope not Darren. That would be that. Only
they're
if
both
Marvel
male-
gets the license.
They're both male names at this point. Yeah. So they're pinned down. They can't leave. So the entity from the other dimension runs out, and then the dude like shoots her, kills her. And lays there. So now he's really pissed, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna kill Flash Gordon." I'm like, dude, you're the one who just shot her. Why are you mad at Flash Gordon? He didn't do anything to you. And so
Did you catch her dying words?
well, exactly what she said. It's like, "You fool! I never loved you. I love my husband." Yeah. Which, yeah, I caught that. And at first I thought she was talking about she's not talking about Flash Gordon.
Yeah, she is.
Well, let's not get to that point. Okay?
Yes.
I was trying not to get. I was building up to that.
Maybe not the one on the cover, but
yeah. So she's like, "Oh, that was my husband," because at this point in the book, we just know that she took the form of Dale. We don't know who she is. We just know she came to the portal and copied Dale. So her dying, and then because they need and Zerka realized they need to help out Flash Gordon, so he's going to crash there, and he's going to crash the ship. He takes the life pod, leaves the other one, the robot version, to pretty much die. Get this toothpaste spread, crashes into the planet there, causes a giant distraction. We get Flash Gordon, sees him out there, and he sees, oh no, there's Zarka's body right there. It's crushed. But then he hears a voice. He's like, "There's nothing to be sorry about. I'm right here." And he's like, "Oh shit, human form again." And they basically talk about how they're gonna get out of there, But there's a problem because, Daddy's home. Daddy is now pretty much come to take over from the Emperor and the Empress, and he's basically to restore order. And he finds, what's funny about this, finds a fucking Stargate. What's with the Stargate and everything now? Jeremy Adams just puts a Stargate randomly in there. For those who ever watched the movie. So anyway, so he says, like, "Oh, we have a Stargate? Well, frick, open it then. Yeah, I'll take over all the cosmos." And of course, here comes, from spoiled before earlier, Flash Gordon from the alternate universe looking for his now dead wife. He doesn't know she's dead.
Or is she?
We don't know. But it'll be continued whenever, wherever. Oh well. Because all they're advertising is volume 2 at the end of this. There's nothing talking about the next issue 11. This is the end of volume 2. So I'm wondering, will there even be a volume 3? Because Jeremy Adams is pretty much exclusive to DC now. Originally he said it was Far From Over. And I'm thinking, like, do you need Far From Over? Like 10 issues? Is that what you think? But so yeah, great book, but I ain't gonna hold my breath thinking there's gonna be another one right after soon. All right, number 5, Blood and Thunder. It's actually turned out to be really good. This is issue 2 of the series so far. Robert Kirkman isn't writing, but he's also been doing some of the plotting, though, at least with these writers. And it said Benicio Sereno and E.G. Sue is the artist. E.G. Sue, even if you've been paying attention to what's going on, these variants and stuff popping up covers, E.G. Sue's been doing a lot of them too. So interior art, we get the girl from the first issue. She's having a conversation with her AI, pretty much robot or gun called Thunder, which is right there. And she's like, "Tell me a story about my father." It's like, she's kind of, so then he starts talking about, how, father, basically how when he got the gun, and everybody joked about, all these guns, but he's like, and so basically he says, eventually there a combat story. He gets she because she doesn't want to hear about the sentimental thing about how about when he brought the gun home. She doesn't remember about her parents, because they're pretty much deceased at this point. So then she's like, well, tell me about another story about my father. And he's like, well, her father mentions, that his gun is a pacifist, it's like, and it's been a running joke since issue 1 that his AI does not like using lethal rounds, even though it's required as guns. But she gets word that alien tentacle thing monster escaped from prison. We see what's left of the actual prison ship just floating in there. And you see this guy basically talking to his son about currency and stuff, stuff. They're on Earth, and they're on the top tier of Earth, which is like 3 or 4 tiers. The fourth tier, the bottom tier, is obviously the poor live. It's like if you watched, I think it's Elysium, same thing. The rich are at the top, the bottom are the poor people. And so he's talking about the currency and all that stuff. They want to go to the bank, and he's like, "Oh, you got coin? Oh, wait." He's like, "Oh, you guys don't have coin. Oh, you have this stupid cryptocurrency bullshit." He said, "Where's the real money?" It's like basically like murders this kid's dad in front of him. Then these cops show up and they're all talking tough. It's like surrender, and they're all calling him. He's like, prisoner, let the boy go. He's like, oh, and the prisoner's like, do you think my name is prisoner? Is that all I am to you? He's like, all you are doing is dead fucking meat if you don't let the kid go. And of course, the gun's telling them, you can read out everybody's bio signature, and it's telling him his target. It's like, your target just seems calm. He's not agitated whatsoever. But then it just murders them within a single swipe, kills them all. And they ends up going into cuts a scene where in the bank they're like, oh, do you think he's gonna come here? He's like, why? We don't have any money. It's like, we'll be fine, don't worry about it. And of course the guy's gonna get out. And then the monster comes into the bank and demands, okay, it's like, where's, it's the bank, you should have currency, where's your money? He's like, well, we don't have that, we haven't had in like years. He's like, why would you think an alien like me would have knowledge of your freaking customs? And like, where's your money? Everything has money. Goes in there to the vault, and he basically takes like their hard drive, I guess, and just smashes it. Meanwhile, she's racing to top part, and it kind of leaves her off where she's getting ready to go face on the bad guy in the next issue. A little flying motorcycle. Yeah. Like I said, it looks pretty good. And then we have Invisible Man advertisement in here, James Tynion. And then Ghost Pepper, which is a new one by Robert Kirkman. So, yeah. Like I said, Image is really, or not said, yeah, this Image is kicking ass now. They pretty much stepped up with their books. Kirkman decided to basically, what, I need to do more than just do a Transformers thing. So I'm kind of glad, because Transformers is in good hands with Daniel Warren Johnson for right now, and G.I. Joe, Josh Williamson. He's been writing, all Kirkman's really been doing is handling the Amazon Prime show, and then also writing Void Rivals. But I'm glad that he's starting to actually like expand, Skybound, and making Skybound a legitimate, like, good company. I would be shocked if Skybound becomes as popular as Marvel or DC in the future, if they keep going this way. But Skybound has just been great. So definitely recommend. All right. Then, for my number 4, picked up G.I. Joe. Another fun issue. Got the connecting cover. Go with the one I had before. So I figured I might as well keep getting them. Pretty much, this is a girl's day off, It starts off with Covergirl hunting down Baroness inside the facility, the old prison where they turned into the new nest, or call it the pit now. But And Baroness ends up getting the drop on CoverGirl, only to lose because she was distracted and got shot. The paintball, she shot CoverGirl. The other dude shot her. Flint, I think his name is. I'm not sure if this is Flint. No. Anyway, so she quests that she wants to go leave and everything, and she's like, so. We get what's his name? Duke basically talks. He said, "I'll talk to Hawk. Get you 40 years off." And of course, he sends CoverGirl with her. As a babysitter. And CoverGirl's like, "Shit, if you want to fucking run, hey, go ahead. I'll just tell them that you left. But either way, I'm getting vacation out of this. We're going because they end up going to Paris on Baroness's own plane. Meanwhile, connecting to the Transformers, Destro's talking to Cobra Commander about this, and Cobra Commander says, it's like, yeah, they even had one of these before. He's like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, I told you everything. You just kill me. It's like, there's a time and place for you to learn things that I know things. If I choose to. Meanwhile, we got what's his name? Clutch just came back. And he's talking to Hound, and he's like, dude, Hound, remember, you can't talk to me we're on base here. You get discovered. So he's like, so he ends up transforming into his normal state. He's like, what? I like talking when I'm in humanoid form. And then as soon as the next thing panel, he's like, you have Duke showing up. And he's like, oh, hey, what's with the new ride? It's like, oh, I found a project I found in my funny here, and I just restored it. So I love the fact that Clutch and Hound are now bonding, which we saw back in the free comic book day preview. And so this is where Duke is approached by Baroness, asking where she basically wants, hey, let me go. So she gets on there, as always, she gets on the jet. And then, Cover goes on there too. So they get on the jet, and the whole thing, it's just been kind of fun seeing those two bond. And then you get to learn, and she kind of ditches her out, and once the plane lands, and she goes to this little cafe in Paris, and then she, then CoverGirl shows up, and it's gives her a speech, like, hey, I don't care if you run, I'll get a vacation either way. But then she so Baroness then tells her, hey, see over there, see that couple over there? That's my parents. It's like, but I don't want to, it's nice to just see them every once in a while. It's like, but I don't want to talk to them. She's like, why should I don't have answers? And CoverGirl says, hey, I get it. My parents ask me questions all the time, but I can't give them answers. So then they're attacked by these freaking birds, and hawks are showing up, attacking them. And we get this this new villain called Raptor. I'm sorry. This is just a ridiculous villain. The first thing I thought, I was like, oh, it's like a knockoff Thundercats of Birdman from Thundercats, the villain. But it leaves it off there. I do like the fact that they're breaking up the team, putting a smaller focus on some of the teammates instead of having them all in a group setting, because we've seen that before. And so we just need to start focusing on smaller teams. But it's a good book. Top 3 books of the week for me. Batman and Robin. I think this is issue 8. Yeah, issue 8. This is the alternate cover. Original cover, which again is just shit. That's 2 DC books I bought today or yesterday. They have shitty A covers. It's supposed to be Clayface, I guess. But once again, hey, look, there's an ugly dog in Superman. Thanks for letting me know. I'm not watching the movie. Could friend me every single issue. So these two kids are basically, it's how these two kids are having tennis match in their home, their mansion. Some goons show up. Batman and Robin pretty much stop them. And Robin picks up a gun, holds a guy at gunpoint, and Batman just looks at him. He's like, no. And this is here, Jeff Loeb, if you're not paying attention, you should be. He says, don't. He's like, don't. No guns. He's like, unacceptable. We never use guns, pretty much. And it's like, fear is his own weapon. We never, ever use guns.
Except when I want to shoot one of my robins.
I know, right? And Robin's like, okay. Do you even know how hard it is to scare anybody in this freaking bright ass costume?
That's the best sequence of all 8 of the issues.
Yeah, I just love that.
Here comes the comeback, Jay. Here comes Oklahoma. Chugga, chugga, chugga.
Batman shows up at Gordon's office. He's like, pretty much like, hey, bitch, I thought we were friends. Why you? So now all these people are being killed because of your stupid case file. Trying to figure out what my identity is. And Gordon's like, well, I closed it. He's like, well, I'm thinking like, yeah, you closed it. Why don't you burn the file then? You know? But then they kind of bond. He's like, hey, is that your daughter? It's like, yeah, Robin, he says taking on I guess it was Halloween, I think it was.
You know what would have been awesome? If he said, I'm going to bang her in a cartoon one day.
No, he said, you know what? She'd make a great Batgirl. But meanwhile, after they bond and stuff, and because Gordon was like, wait, you didn't do the whole poof thing? He's sitting around and he's like, asked questions about being a father and stuff. And he's like, oh, then at the end, he's like, oh, there it is, the poof, right? It disappears. Meanwhile, I got the general is like, bring my dad another plate of pasta. I like watching him struggle and know that he can't eat the fucking pasta. I'm like, what a dick.
Well, you can tell somebody watched Breaking Bad.
Yep. And then we get this. This might be the first one I read.
Yeah, I'm not real sure about that one.
It's Jerry Ordway art.
Well,
it might be.
Some of it.
Yeah. For the first issue.
Yeah, I just I'm just not sure I trust Mark Waid with the entire history of DC.
Well, like I said, can't be any worse than John Whitley, whatever his name is.
But then again, 5 years from now, it'll be completely changed again anyway. So,
yep. We see Bruce in his limo. They get T-boned, and the cop runs out there, and pretty much Bruce ends up. Somehow there's a switch. There's a switch here. Alfred's beating up the guy. Robin, and then so Bruce basically quick runs away, and he's like, "Hey, someone needs a call and get ahead of their message and all to everybody else." Because I thought it was Alfred. He's punching the guy. And he goes, "Come engage, Alfred. It'll take me a second to double back. Can you hold out?" Oh yeah, it was yeah. And he says Clayface is in the building, posing as Bruce Wayne. Of course, Dick Grayson kind of realizes that you're not Bruce. You're not an asshole because he's too nice to him. No. Yeah. So of course, he tries so Robin tries to test him. He's like, hey, it's like some guys beat me up and stuff. It's like he's like, oh, and of course Clayface doesn't know nothing about Bruce Wayne. He's like, here, I'll show you some moves, boxing moves. Like, okay, sure, yeah. And they realize it's not Bruce. He tries calling Bruce. He's trying to leave a message. He's like, hey, pick up. And I love this. I love that scene. This Clayface posing as Bruce Wayne. It's like all freaking menacing. Then they proceed to run around like Benny Hill, being chased by a giant monster. And I love how it's Matt Hagen, and the way he's drawn is like the Batman animated series version. Worse than the comic. And of course, we get this. Bruce jumps in as Batman, crashes the window, lands on him, and he thinks like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you." He's like, "Nope. What's this? Liquid nitrogen little things he got." Of course, he also throws some batarangs, which are made out of liquid nitrogen, and they sort of hit him. And they end up getting some leftover Clayface. They're going to go analyze in the cave. And Clayface ends up running over to escaping. He's quick to hold himself together, and he opens the door and Dent's there. He's like, "Oh, you finally come to your realize that we need each other, that you can trust me." The coin set because he says the coin landed up. It means I know that we're gonna work together. So let's So I'm kind of glad for that. But Like I said, that's a really good issue. Mark Waid, yeah, is a dick. Like I said, with politics and stuff, on Twitter and social media. But he doesn't show it in his writing. And that's the one thing I can respect him about that. Ain't that much other respect for him, though. Number 2 is World's Finest. It's going to be a late night. Now, basically, I really like this issue because of the fact that Jim Gordon is invited to appear on this made-up, podcast, or whatever you call it, or thing, talk show. And Perry White's there to also help him, give support along with Bruce Wayne. And at this point, Lois doesn't know that Bruce is Batman, because it's still the Silver Age, I guess. And he makes a play, and he's like in front of Clark. He's like, "So Lois, after you're done with this, you want to grab dinner?" And like, you see Clark just gives a shot grin. She's like, right, and she's like, "Oh, well, a flying offer, Mr. Wayne, but let me think about it. Right now, it's showtime." Well, they're in there. A monster basically attacks them, and ends up pretty much becoming like a journalist story, like an old, really cool Silver Age. You got Perry White teaming up with James Gordon to track down somebody who they believe is probably metahuman controlling this monster. Well, you also have, the debut of the giant mech suit, as I really loved. So Bruce is like, goes in, and is like, here, I got this. Let me battle against him. And he takes the monster. The problem is the monster ends up becoming like more powerful than they can anticipate. Superman's evacuating people, but then he sees Batman's in trouble, so he helps out separate Superman against the giant kaiju monster. He's like, Bruce, are you alright? He's like, no, I'm pissed. I want a rematch. So then, like, they find this drawing of this monster, and because they figure that the podcaster, the guy who's basically was talking down to Gordon and Perry, says like, there's just more of this guy. Turns out the guy actually, him and his sister hired this metahuman who can think up things using his imagination, and they track him down, and the guy decides he's going to try and attack Perry White and stuff. Some people didn't like this, because it's like, oh, it's anti-podcasters. It's Mark Waid saying like, yeah, YouTube, and like they're taking it as like YouTube. He's talking about YouTubers, like they don't matter. They're not real news. They're all corrupt. I didn't get that message at all. I just got a giant kaiju battle with a kid who was stupidly hired by someone else being manipulated, so they can get reviews and stuff. And at the end, they end up locking him up. And even though Bruce or Superman really wants to hit him, Bruce says like, easy. I know you want to clock him, but you might need to take a numbers. A lot of people are going to want to take him out because he destroyed stuff. But then, like, so I love how Superman says, like, it's like, Perry, you and James Gordon were going, oh, why don't you guys ever, like, like teaming up more? And the first thing I thought of when he said about this whole story was Ultimate Spider-Man with Jonah and Ben teaming up. Yeah. But I love what he says. He's like, because he says, he says like, well, speaking of which, like, I go and have a story to file about my entire media empire collapsing, and I should find Bruce. I expect he's probably shaken up, and I love how Gordon says a little more excitement than a pretty boy billionaire he's used to. I imagine Perry's like, well, he's not that rugged type. I just the whole banner between the two of them in the story. Just basically talking about how Bruce and Kent are both kind of like not fighters. So it was a really good issue.
By the way, no, it's not on hiatus at all. Probably in August, I think.
Oh, he tweeted?
I tweeted him. He responded.
Cool.
Because he's the best guy in the business.
Who's that?
Jeremy Adams.
Sweet.
Oh,
Elite Comics Geeks doesn't have issue 11 solicited, and I was worried there that that something happened to it. So,
well, I think it was either the August or September solicits just came out today for Marvel. So I don't know if they're behind in getting solicits out. Maybe.
Well, if they're going through Diamond, yeah. But I heard that the solicits are going away though.
Oh, that's sad. I like the solicits.
Or at least Diamonds. Remember they're coming through Diamond.
Yes. Somebody I saw today. Somebody signed some kind of partnership with Lunar. I forgot who it was. I forgot.
FedEx?
Was still around.
Somebody reliable. Anyway, number 1 book of the week. Battle Beast. Just freaking phenomenal. If you had fun reading Invincible, it's this exact same amount of it's intense, like awesomeness, off the wall. Forget Absolute DC. This is the original Absolute, not craziness. Right here, Battle Beast. So he stuck with the guy from the first issue, the prince that was inside the Colossus body. He battled. The guy pleads him, hey, if you take me to my people, my sister, it's like, she's the one that upset me. And she's like, you that I was a tough opponent, and you should battle her. And he's like, okay, I'll think about it. I'll spare your life. He's like, but on the way though, can we stop at like this place nearby so I can get a body so I don't look like this when I come back to my people. And she's like, okay, sure, whatever. He's like, and they stop there, and Battle Beast is kind of like annoyed, like I am when I'm at the mall because people are bumping into you. I'm like, he's like, urge to kill rising because he just wants to get to the crowd. He's like, I can slaughter everybody here. He's like, oh, hold on, let's go in there. Meanwhile, this other person found the Battle Beast who'd been looking for him because Battle Beast is basically wherever he goes, he causes like destruction. So there's always people that want to like revenge. And they finally talk to the junk guy, and he says like, well, I do have a body here, like, and get this guy, I can really build him one, but I have one here, but it's really expensive, but you probably won't couldn't afford it unless you play in the blood games. And like Battle Beast is like, blood games, underground fighting arena. And he pretty much starts winning all the matches. He even bumps into Data and some of the Star Trek guys in here too, from Deep Space Nine. And as he kills all these guys and stuff, going through the round matches, they pull him out, and literally they get Picard and like Worf and whatever the hot chick's name was on the show. And there's Riker. So I don't know why there's Star Trek references in this, but apparently Kirkman's like Star Trek. But also the page on the side here, it just he just slices the guy in half. Gore, awesome, and action. It's just great. Guy gets his new body, and he pretty much talks to to Battle Beast, and he's like, "Dude, don't you feel great? Like, not only did you save that guy who was possessed by alien, the Worf guy, but you also you gave me a new body, and and you just like you're doing really good." And he's like, and at the end, like they're gonna go leave, but then like they're of course they're targeted by the lame ass Nova Corps, the Corps, whatever you call them. They're not Nova Corps, but they're pretty much the same thing. They want revenge, and of course the robot says like, "Yeah, you remember how I said I hate you? Yeah, I told them where you are so they kill you because I hate you." Like the whole shit that he's on, he was loyal to his original owners, and the AI just hates Battle Beast because he's like a slave to him. He's like, he even threatened to jettison and like kill, like called self-destruct in the middle of nowhere. And then like Battle Beast's like, dude, you shouldn't. You think I'm starving now? I can survive indefinitely in space without and hunger does not bother me. It's like I'll so long survive. So the ship kind of reconsiders it. So basically, the ship's just trying to get rid of him. So and it's just a fun off the walls it just crazy awesomeness. And so I said it's an Invincible universe, Battle Beast. If you love Invincible, especially it's good companion if you're actually reading the Invincible right now. It's a good series. That is my number 1 book of the week. The other books I did get. I did pick up the Adventure Comics. facsimile,
nice.
which is polybagged for some reason. I
Polybag.
don't know why. There's no card in the back or anything like that.
Now,
so-
I think I heard somebody say something. I guess if you buy those, there's a possibility that you can get a couple of tickets to the premiere of Superman or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
It could be I could be wrong and misunderstood what they said, but that's what I heard.
I don't know.
It's probably for canine nudity.
Also, Walking Dead. The start of the Negan War. Rick takes to fight the Negan outside Hilltop or outside the Sanctuary. And of course, we have the old dude who was running Hilltop. And the actor they originally got to play him was awesome. The guy from Nikita. He was the guy in charge of the division. I forget what his name is, the actor.
The older guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is his name? He was on 24 one year too. He's great.
He was in many movies. Yeah, he is. Yeah, and like said, like I forgot what his name was, but he was like, and he was a original Hilltop later. He made a deal with Negan. Hey, I'll give you, these people. I'll tell you what you're doing if you allow us to live and stuff. So
well, he didn't do anything nearly as cool in Walking Dead as getting in a plane and flying a nuke out over the desert and blowing it up. That's a cool way to go.
Yeah, like I said, I just saw him in another. Rob and I reviewed it, and I'm trying to remember what movie it was, and it was. I don't think it was.
He was Xander. It was his name in Nikita, right?
Yeah. He was the main leader guy. Yeah, leader guy. Yeah. Xander Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great guy.
He was George something in 24.
Yeah. You shaved, you're starting to look like Anglety? Fuck you, I don't look anything like
Well, they say people that have hung around each other long enough start to resemble each other.
If anything, I feel like I look like Pixels or their brother.
It's pushing it.
I know, right? I look way better than him. Anyway, who's going next? Who has to leave early today?
Don't have to leave early, but let's just go with habit and have me go next.
All right,
If it ain't broke.
dude, Jackson. I'm not you trying to pass myself on 15 around other people.
That's only when I'm trying to get dates by the school.
Congratulations.
The calling.
No, to me, because I had less than 1 minute into your segment before you made us all feel uncomfortable.
That's a new
Calling.
record.
That's a school. Okay.
Yeah, I feel so great. I'm turning my camera off. Zach's like, you left me alone on camera?
I don't care. I don't care about that. I'm just going to play Pokemon.
Who's 15 now?
What was it? Izzy and I were having a conversation. And like Izzy, she was like, Zach, when we have kids and people come over to the house, we're going to play a game called "Is this our kids or is this my husband's?" Because I have so many Legos and comics and childish crap.
Do you ever sing "Is You Is" or "Is You Ain't My Baby"?
I have. Not in front of people, but I am familiar. I have hummed the song.
To her, I hope.
No, not to her.
You should. That'd be rather clever, I think.
That would. You know what? Doggone, that is a good idea. That is a good idea. I'm gonna have to. I may steal that. Sorry, Jeff. I don't mean to.
Well, I don't know anybody named Izzy, so you feel free. I'm not going to be using it.
Just that one failed singer, Izzy.
That's Iggy Azalea.
Oh, whatever. At this point,
Iggy.
that's how little she's known.
No, there wasn't Iggy. Iggy Stardust.
You mean Iggy Pop?
No, there's also Iggy Stardust.
Wasn't it Ziggy Stardust?
Yes, you're right. Never mind. I'm wrong.
Dear God, just talk comics.
You're right. Iggy Pop, Ziggy Stardust. Wow. Let me just show what the hell I'm
The only
doing.
Ziggy I know is from Quantum Leap.
I know the little Ziggy. There was a comic strip character.
Yes, I
Comic
was just
strip
going to
is
say the
Ziggy,
comic
yeah.
strip. Okay, 10. pastime. I'm gonna have to just pull out issues 1 and 2 because I started to read. I couldn't remember what was going on, so I'll just have to.
Vampire kills someone in a field, shows up at a baseball diamond. He wants to have play baseball, and then issue 2 is about him remembering that he used to play baseball before he went to the war.
Yeah, there's only one person I'm a roommate with there, Jay, and that's me. It's the only person I can. I don't even think I can stand my roommate for more than a couple minutes at a time.
It's by law.
Yes. No, the fact that I'm my own roommate and I can't stand my roommate for more than a couple
Exactly. Yeah, it's by you're on a roommate. It's by law. Zoning laws.
Yes. Number 9.
Number 9.
Paul is dead. Paul is dead. Bloodletter. I just had to check it out and
Spawn Universe. Yeah.
Yes. It was okay. It just seems like it sort of reminded me of the other one, the Spawn Universe, about that girl who's trying to magic use her, and turns out that I guess she really hates Spawn, and she's coming in to try and kill Spawn or something.
The only one I know here is Rat City.
Rat City.
I know it. Tale of the Gunslinger is also out too. That's another one.
8, Ultimates 3.0. And this is actually pretty interesting. They are going about, they realized that they were doing stuff wrong all this way before. And so they are, again, refocusing their, the way they're doing things to try and change stuff. And, Tony Stark is talking to his dad. Yeah, obviously, even though his dad is dead and all that, about what's going on and how they're doing things. And they are he's going out with, who's that, America Chavez or something like that, and getting, kind of rallying the people and all that, and then they're fighting. Big thing where they're fighting Nazis, literal like skinheads and Nazis, and the Red Skulls. They're fighting the Red Skulls, and it says one of the guys says, "I was nobody before I came here. I don't want to die, but I don't want to be a nobody again. If I'm not a Red Skull, what am I supposed to be?" So I think he might be making some sort of a comment about that stuff, but I don't know. But just using social media and all that stuff to, even though the big people control it, they're doing like underground network stuff to try and get people to rally. They're sending, who is that? Is that the Android Human Torch?
Yeah, that's Jim Hammond, the original one.
They're sending him out on some secret mission, and you can see Janet Van Dyne is watching because she wants to know what's going on. But they've got some sort of thing going on in She-Hulk Island.
Somebody hinted out that, like, is Tony gonna get on with She-Hulk? They're like trying to ship them together, like, because her voice is the only thing that woke him up.
And so they are. I guess this is the Ultimate version of Danny Rand.
Yes, that is Danny. Yeah,
because what they're doing is they're using Power Man to control the people in the prisons, and I guess he's teaching people how to fight and all that.
Is that for the new book?
Yeah, this is.
Okay. It sounds like it's just recapping the past couple of issues. That's what it sounds like.
It's taking storylines and stuff from a few of the previous issues.
Oh, I was gonna say because I remember that Danny Rand was like a couple.
Well, that wasn't even Ultimates. That was a different. That was like it might have been an Ultimates book.
I think it was Ultimates because that was the Luke Cage first appearance.
Yeah. You might be right.
But
you might be crazy.
Definitely.
I might just be the.
But there's according to the song that doesn't mean you could be right and crazy at the same time.
Sure.
But
Usually you're lefting crazy though.
Yeah. As me being a lefty.
I thought that was funny. Not you specifically. Not you specifically. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I know. But in order to be more effective, he's, I guess, cloned
The
him.
Clone Saga.
Yes. So,
Wait,
I'm
an
not-
army of Tonys?
yes.
An army of Tonys.
I might be...
One
I
for
might-
each armor.
Ooh, that's a cool idea, actually. Kind of dig that.
So that was what? 10, 9, 8. 7 is the Absolute Flash. And he is on the run from the Rogues and his dad
Man on the run.
with Baby Grodd. Is it Grodd or Grood?
Grodd. Groot's a
Uh,
treat.
I think he said Groot, like he combined both of them. I am Groot.
Yo, that's the
and,
album character I want. A telepathic tree gorilla. thing.
But so he goes into a city and he's looking for a place to sleep.
Sorry.
And they bring up the fact that he's really hungry. You know, because I guess that's a Wally West thing. But he goes to he's given a card by Dibney to a little shelter. And he goes there, and look who he runs into. That's Iris. And they
Linda.
draw him looking
Iris,
like
is, Iris is Barry. That's Linda.
No, that's Iris.
No. Iris is Barry's girlfriend. That's Linda.
Oh.
Linda is Wally's.
Oh, Linda. Okay, all right. I must have misread. But doesn't he look kind of like a girl in this, the way they're drawing him right here?
I mean, he looks like a rebellious kid from
Wait.
the 80s.
Who's that supposed to be?
It could be Enda.
That's supposed to be Wally right there.
Dude, that's an emo girl, lesbian.
That looks like a number of emo boys that I've seen in 80s films.
No, because
No.
Wally. She says, "Wally, are you serious?" And so that, yeah, and that's actually
That it looks like he's wearing mascara.
No, that look didn't start until John Cera and Timothy Chalamet started getting lead roles. You leave our 80s movies out of that, sir.
But so you know, he's trying to on the hide, and Grodd doesn't want to be stuck around, so he runs, and you have his dad chewing out these people. He wants to just try and capture find his son to help him and all that, and they are just what do you call it? They're trying to keep him, not really trying to capture him, because she is saying that he is leading, Grodd is leading them to something, and because not only was Wally the one to escape, but a bunch of other people escaped too. And so they're trying to figure out where they are.
Escape. So funny. It's spelled just like the word escape.
And
Escape. With an S. And a cape.
then that was the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Superman Unbound number 2. And
Dan Slott.
yes.
The slot machine.
Yes, it wasn't that bad. I don't know why I taped all these things up. I thought you guys would be going over these things.
Well, no, I'm anti Dan Slott because his books have been sucking lately.
I'm very selective. I'm very hesitant if I pick up anything from
Superman
him.
Unlimited, that Ann or whatever it was, the summary of it, that sucked horribly.
I'm more than happy to let you be the guinea pig and
Right.
let me know if it's good or not.
Yeah,
It's
the
good
last-
that I may turn around and buy it, but
the last thing I liked from Dan Slott was when he was working, I believe it was on the Batman Adventures from the 2000s, early 2000s.
the She-Hulk run was pretty good.
Yeah, but what was that? 2011?
No, before then. It was like 2002, 2000.
Isn't that the one where he, the galactic one where she was like working with the tribunal?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's around that.
He wrote a good miniseries with Spider-Man: The Human Torch, and whatever he contributed to Avengers Initiative was good. Basically, what got him was the advent of the proliferation of the chat rooms, and he lost his mind one day and told a fan to fuck off, and instead of getting in trouble, he got rewarded for it. So then it's been off to the races ever since. I mean, which tells me he was always a fat asshole, but now he had permission to be one.
No, now he's even fatter.
Yeah, and probably even a bigger asshole.
And now from the movie, it looks like the Human Torch is really going to be a real Human Torch. From
I
the way
don't
they're,
think he is.
huh?
I don't think he is.
No, well, that's
Well, do you understand what he's saying, or are you okay? Not that
Yes.
you guys are disagree on things.
flame on. Yeah, but
No, didn't you hear the first steps is about the women being in charge? They're gonna have it's gonna be more about Sue.
Okay, so they've got quick recap of Superman from '38 and all that stuff, and then they go cover what's happening with that new island that came up the last issue that kind of weaponized kryptonite. I mean, everything is kryptonite. They're like their weapons, their money and everything.
Because S Corp she sold all the weapons.
Yeah, and so Lois and somebody there interviewing them, they attack, and there was speaking of kind of like podcasts, they have the Creeper. He's doing his podcast, and
There you go, Breen. You had the right guy, just the wrong book.
What?
You were talking about the Creeper being a talk show host the other night when we were talking about World's Finest.
Yeah.
But
Actually, I'd mentioned that.
Oh, did you? Oh.
Yeah.
they're doing stuff like this, and then Clark Kent comes in and fact check him and all that. And then we have Superman out fighting some people with some kryptonite weapons, and it turns out he's got a new power. And it's weird because they said something about him having his the Nova Flare powers, which I thought they'd gotten rid of. But he turns into, whenever he's around kryptonite, that just like for like up to 200 seconds, he turns gold, and it will stop his exposure to kryptonite. But then once it goes away, he's vulnerable again for a little while. So he's having to deal with and try to take care of these guys once his gold thing goes away without showing that he's vulnerable, just like a human. And then the Creeper becomes a Creeper again and saves him. And now somebody made it so the kryptonite isn't good anymore, or there's no market for it anymore, so there's no more.
I'm surprised DC hasn't Me Too the Creeper. Seems like a no-brainer.
Okay, then next I just had this, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Then everything else is been covered. So 4 would be Moon Knight number 9. Very good. Number 3 was Detective Comics number. I don't know if you covered that or not.
Nope.
1098. So we're just slightly.
It's Tom Tiller writing it. That's why I'm not reading it. To me, he's no different than Tom King.
I thought he was going to be. I thought he was getting relieved, but
Well, he gets relieved every time he writes a book.
but he's chasing after somebody, and it's him trying to relieve, not relieve, but trying to. He thought he was chasing somebody else, but it was the penguin who was in there that was captured. So
The
he's
old
trying to.
switcheroos. You put a
He's
penguin
trying
in
to
there.
help the penguin escape, and so
Sounds like a great game, Penguin Escape.
it's the two of them trying to escape and work together. And it's like him walking, talking to Oracle, and you see him, doing the talking, and Penguin is like, "Who are you talking to?" And he's like, "High security level on the communications. I'm not alone." And then you see Penguin saying, "A lot of people in my circle think that you just talk to yourself and you cover it up by putting your hand to your ear." I thought that was actually kind of funny, but it's just them, trying to working on escaping and getting out, and of this place, and they actually do, and they come across a new, or a guy, and so they have Bullock was being tortured, and they escape. They help capture Bullock, and then there's a little bit of a what do you call it? Cliffhanger at the end where it looks like Bullock got shot, so you don't know if exactly he did or not. And that is where it ends. Okay, and then two more. Very good. And number 40. This was probably the best book of the week. I loved it. It was really good. It was just, I love that look when Bruce says, "Hey, you want to go out for dinner?" And then the whole quick head turn Clark did. I don't know if that was meant just for appearance or if he was actually kind of pissed.
He is being a character like he's supposed to be. He's a playboy. So, but he also does it because the fact he knows that Clark will get upset.
The look that Clark gave, where he kind of just looked like he's.
Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, it was supposed to be for a joke,
But,
yeah, because remember that's in the earlier World's Finest stuff team ups, and Lois didn't know that Superman, and Clark were the same.
And that's it. And new glasses that I just got today. So
Cool.
Took me months to get this thing taken care of because stupid VA with their.
Yeah, so it goes.
Oh, hang on. Okay,
You going hunting there, Zach?
I am hunting actually.
You gonna hang out with Dick Cheney? You gonna go?
Freaking growlers, man, everywhere. All right,
Ruts everywhere.
I was playing Pokemon.
Oh,
He said growlets.
Growlets?
They're little fire dogs. They're little fire dogs. That's all.
Fire dogs.
Alrighty, I got a good stack of books. Actually, this is a lot for me. Actually, also I want to show this off. I don't know if I showed these off or not. My sister got me. I might have shown these off. Actually, I'm not sure. My sister got me a couple of books. Oh, also, oh man, I put them all away too. I just found them all. I got all my books from the past, like, I don't know, it feels like 5 months of auctions.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
God, dog it. I went and filed most of them. I went and put most of them in storage too. Shoot. Some of them I've got a few here, and I've got some up on the wall. Like, you can't really see it very well, but I have my Stars and Stripe #1 up on the wall.
oh wow! I didn't even notice that you took down the JSA.
I did, yeah.
I
I'm messing around with it. I decided to take down the JSA ones. I still have them all, but I was like, I want to see what it looks like if I put like some of my favorite covers up there instead. I kind of like this a little bit more. I don't know.
So if you squint, you can see a black man on the upper right corner.
On the upper right corner.
Yeah. No, I did.
Well, I still have an Alex Ross JSA up there. It's just,
that's just his way of actually being able to get away with hanging a black man.
Well,
Wow.
I was gonna say it may be a reprint, but you do have the coolest comic book cover of all time up there now.
I don't think that's a reprint. I don't think it is. It says 75 cents. It doesn't say
Well,
$3.
the Fantasy Masterpieces reprinted the original Silver Surfer series.
Oh, did they? Oh, well,
Hey! Now you say masterpiece on my channel?
it is so cool. cover.
You
I had to
said
put it up there.
you've been breaking that for days now.
Yeah, I've got, and then
fantasy governor pieces.
I've got the Beta Ray Bill right next to that I got the other week. I've got the first New Warriors appearance, giant sized Daredevil with the Emissaries of Evil, Stars and Stripe #1, the Action Comics where they brought back the Creature Commandos. I have the Justice League of America where they're fighting the giant Hitler robot. That one's a lot of fun. Justice League International. The Amazing Spider-Man. That's my favorite Spider-Man cover of all time. Where
297,
the giant spider.
The fast Spider-Man?
It's my favorite Spider-Man cover. I love
What's
it.
next to Thor 337? There's a big time glare between that and Ms. Marvel.
There is. That's Action Comics 872. That's the one where Jeff Johns, they brought back the Future Commandos. Superman found them.
Okay, so that's what. All right, that one.
Yeah, I can't get this glare fixed with this light. It's ridiculous.
Glare is wherever you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
I've been 30-something years of record stores. Wherever I'm trying to file something, like where I try to file CDs, that's where the glare is.
Yeah.
It's just it's one of those mysteries. Like, how does Uncle Sam's finger follow you wherever you go? In the "I Want You" poster.
Yep.
It just is.
I played around with it. I may try to find some dimmer light bulbs, maybe. But I played around. I've got a few other. I've got the All-Star Comics Justice Society. That's one of the new books. Way up here in the corner. That's from one of the ones I got from E's auction. I think that Fantastic Four one with Doctor Doom, that might have also come from the auction, actually. That's just a cool Doom cover. A cool Doctor Doom one. So, and you can't even see that because of the freaking glare. God, Falcon. Freaking lights.
Get an awning.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I'm playing around. Some of them are doubled up. So this is the one that I was showing the Dr.
I love you said get an awning. I was thinking about this. Put a bookshelf over it.
But then I was also playing around because I also have this Thor one with Hercules, which is just a fun cover. So I'm playing around. I'm trying to see which ones I like the most. Anyway, I could go on about those covers forever. Let me actually talk about the new books this week, and then we can get into
which one do you
back
like?
issue stuff. Because I know Linkman's got more to show off than I do. All right, one book I have not gotten to read yet. I have not gotten to read this one yet. Flash Gordon, issue #10. It's on the list. I'm going to be doing that tonight before I go to bed. But yeah, it's been good so far. I like this cover, actually. It's a pretty cool cover. So I'm glad to hear that it's not canceled. All right, and I actually have these organized in order of the ones I like the most, least to best. So at the least, we have Godzilla versus Avengers. It's kind of cool in that the writer, even though it's not Bendis, still managed to write like Bendis. It's very wordy. Everybody has something to say on every page,
And managed to say nothing.
and kind of, and it's like, and yeah, they're written like high schoolers, like high school students.
Wait, did Spider-Man get made fun of?
I don't know. Wolverine seems to get made fun of more because he gets half burned by Godzilla's atomic breath. And so Spider-Woman's constantly quipping about how bad he smells. Spider-Man doesn't really do anything, really. Okay, Fing Fang Foom is sleeping on a bridge somewhere. And then Godzilla shows up and starts beating him up. And Fing Fang Foom gets upset because he's king of the monsters, or he thinks he's the king of the monsters. And Godzilla, of course, we all know he's king of the monsters. So I don't know if you're supposed to feel bad for Fing Fang Foom. I mean, he gets beat up. Godzilla basically pimp slaps him with his tail. Like, poor Fing Fang Foom. He deserves a little bit better. The art's not terrible. You do have, I don't remember this. This must be from the Godzilla movies. Jet Jaguar. I thought it was Ultraman for a second at first. But it's like, you have these three kaiju hunters or kaiju scientists, whatever, and they're descended from the guy who created the original Jet Jaguar. So they have this mech that shows up tries to break up the fight between Godzilla and Fing Fang Foom. The Avengers don't really do a lot to fight Godzilla, aside from maybe Spider-Woman throws a few Venom blasts at it. I think Iron Man does too, but like everybody else pretty much just does like civilian rescue. Maria Hill seems to be written like the only adult in the room because she gets fed up with everybody. So I mean, there's some good art, but it's not worth it. If you're thinking of picking this one up, it's not worth it. I think the next issue is the last one shot before they do the Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. That one I'm looking forward to. But I think there's a Thor versus Godzilla story coming out first. Next one, and y'all are all saying great things about this book. This is my hot take of the night, so be it. I did not care too much for World's Finest number 40.
My brother in Christ.
Wow.
I did not care for it. First of all, it's not a late night talk show. It's a podcast. It's two very completely different things. And I don't care for Andrew Tate. I find him, but kind of like not cool or he's repulsive. But you don't need to have an Andrew Tate stand-in in your...
What?
Dude, look at the way he looks, the way he's drawn, and tell me that
he's drawn like every gay man in DC right now. Bald, yeah, gay.
I don't know. Well, then Andrew Tate is hiding some things.
Well, we all know Andrew Tate's gay.
Closet. Look, there is some cool stuff in here. I actually think this is. I don't remember. Is this? It's not Mora. Who's the artist? Gutierrez. This is probably his best art. He's done several of the World's Finest issues so far. This might be his best one. So props to him for that. I did like that exchange where Bruce asked Lois out to dinner and Clark shoots him the look. That was good. That got a little laugh out of me. I like the Perry White, Commissioner Gordon teaming up. That part was good. I like the part at the end where Superman and Batman are going off into the sunset and Commissioner Gordon and Perry White are talking about how like not rugged Bruce Wayne and how mousy Clark Kent is. That was kind of amusing. But yeah, the kaiju fight, and also as I was reading it, it's very reminiscent. There was a Marvel event a few years ago called Monsters Unleashed, where this kid had the power to create kaiju, and this seemed like a copy of that. So I was like, oh, it's not even. It's a one-shot story too. Normally, the good World's Finest stories are like 3 or 4 parts. This is just a little one. So yeah, I didn't care too much for this one. So
that character reminded me of a guy from that kid from the first few issues of X Factor, he created creatures from his imagination.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you remember him or not, because I'm rereading the omnibus. I'm reading the omnibus about that right now.
Yeah. So that one wasn't great in my opinion. Not one of the best ones. And that was issue number 40. I am looking forward to the next story though with the Bizarro stuff. That'll be fun. Next up we got Ultimates number 13. There was no difference between this variant and the cover A, so I went for the variant. It's pretty cool. So yeah, Jeff kind of talked about this a little bit. The Ultimates are kind of changing up their approach. They're recruiting like a bunch of more people to come in because before, Tony says they were trying to find the people that fit the superhero aliases that the maker had sought out. And now they're like, oh, let's just reach out to anybody. And some of the anybodies are going to be like Danny Rand and Power Man and stuff. But because I think the next issue is going to bring in like a Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. But yeah, this was interesting. So, and I thought it was really cool because the thing with the maker is he locked himself inside his giant city. And it's like a year goes by for everybody outside the city, but inside it's like a day. So it's kind of, they're using the reverse science here where they're training all of these new recruits in how to be superheroes, but they're training them in this giant time bubble. So that inside it's like a year, but outside of it, it's only a day. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's Janet spying on Tony because the last issue showed us that she's a mole. She's working for the Makers Council. But yeah, there's some cool stuff going on in here. I'm looking forward to seeing, if there's any interesting fallout from. Like, I think the next issue it's either Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver or Shang-Chi. But I think both of them are.
It'd be great if Denise
Denise
Camp inserts it so that Jan slaps Hank.
That would actually, I would watch that.
By
I
the
would do
way,
that.
you're welcome.
For what?
Not saying Giant City. Oh,
I know. I'm like, where is somebody?
There is. This picture I thought was really cool. Tony Stark goes and approaches Odin, trying to get
Oh, it's
Odin to help
Galactus.
out. Huh?
It's Galactus, Cloud Monster.
No, it's Odin. I just thought this was a really, really cool picture. Like if you took out the dialogue, and the bubbles and everything, this would be a really cool poster, I think. So, but yeah, this was pretty good. I like this. It's a bunch of exposition, a bunch of setting stuff up. So you got to have those issues. It's like we say with Ultimate Spider-Man. You've got to have those kind of issues to set stuff up for the dominoes to fall and the action that take place in future issues.
By the way, did you hear that Ultimate Spider-Man is selling under 50,000 a month now?
Hey, what? Are you serious?
Ultimate is?
Yeah, because they West did a video. Amazing Spider-Man's outselling it again, and it's not even doing 50.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, as a help that they are adding all these new books on, and people are just to the point where they're just jumping ship.
I think people are leaving the hobby, but yeah,
That's what I think. I don't think it's because of the books.
now I think more copies of Ultimate Spider-Man are leaving stores than Amazing.
Yeah.
But the orders, were 48 for Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The finish that was good for 7th of the month.
Wow.
And Ultimate Spider-Man was 8.
Well, it's right underneath it.
Yeah, but it's I can't believe it's not. I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have assumed it would be doing 80.
I mean, also Amazing just relaunched the new stuff, so maybe they got more people.
Well,
That's true. Amazing did just do a new
that makes it even worse because
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man already being down under 50.
Yeah.
With issue 3, but it's outselling a vastly superior title that was in 6 figures for several issues.
Here's the thing, though. Everybody that would be reading it and left the hobby years ago. The few that are in here are probably just left the hobby altogether. Probably,
but it's lost over half its audience. Well, I should say half its audience, over half its sales, and probably 40% of its audience because I'm sure, like I said, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th issues were probably still selling close to 6 figures, if not 6 figures.
Yeah,
that's just
the last I checked. I thought the very first issue was worth like $20 or something.
That's worth 70 now.
Is it really?
But I also know that it's shipped in 6 figures.
Dang.
No, sorry about that. Sorry for the interruption.
No, you're good. You're good. I was responding to Rhaegar in the chat. Next up, we've got Moon Knight. The new issue of Moon Knight. This is
you got the other cover.
I got the other one. Yeah, I like this one. It had that Alessandro Capuccio look to it that I liked. It's very
I like that. I like the 3D look.
Yeah, it's very 3D. Yeah, it was good. There wasn't as much like Hank Pym is kind of just like he seems like a Deus Ex Machina character. He's like, oh, I've had the cure all this time. It's called Pym particles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, okay, Hank, calm down. It was kind of interesting. You kind of talked about it earlier. I think Moon Knight, he experiments on himself with the cure to make sure it works. Some interesting stuff. He sees all these villains.
Tragic character. I love that he's reinforced. Every time she's like, every time Jed gets a chance with the tiger, she's like, yeah, she's us. Like, bro, why do you keep doing yourself? He's like, because that's what I'm made for.
Yeah,
I deserve it. No.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting take. I like it. It just felt like a little too slow of an issue. Like towards the end, it picks up. Like it sets up for the next issue really well, I think, because he's going to be taken. Like you see him take out one of this Asgard.
I calls him. He's like pretty much all I had to say was "F you."
Yeah. So I like that. I did want to see if there would be like more drama or something more compelling with Hank and Tigra being on the same page. Maybe that comes down the road. But yeah, this has been really good. Really enjoyed this.
Now, I was gonna say if somebody else took over the book, they'd had put like, oh, she's cheating on you with Hank Pym now. They're back together.
Don't even joke. Don't even joke. Okay, another book. I think Green might be the only other one that has this. Fantastic Four Fanfare, #2. Actually, like the stories in this one a little bit better than the first issue. The Jonathan Hickman one, especially the very first one, I thought was a really fun, really interesting little story. where the Fantastic Four on Friday the 13th, they transport themselves to another world where everything is like a horror movie or a scary movie. And so they fight all these different stand-in movie types like Chucky's and Pennywise's and Hellraisers. It was a really interesting take. I thought that was really cool. That was neat. And of course,
Wes posted the picture of the Hellraisers, and I was like, "What the heck?"
What'd you think of the twist at the end?
The twist at the end where the zombie Fantastic Four, dude, that was just like, that was cool. And actually, I saw the Marvel solicits. They're about to bring back Marvel Zombies, a different world where it starts with the Fantastic Four going to space.
In a different world where...
A different world of zombies. And then in the Avengers title, Jed McKay is about to have the Avengers go to Jonathan Hickman's Battle World from his Secret Wars, and they're going to fight Marvel Zombies there. So the zombies are making a comeback. But the other two stories in this were also pretty good.
What year is it?
I know. What year is it?
Cinema, now comic books. We'll just go back 20 years ago and try to like.
Well, because I think Disney Plus is supposed to have a Marvel Zombies series coming out later this year. That's probably why. But no, the other two stories are pretty good. One is where Reed basically exhausts himself trying to solve all the world's problems. And I think he might have forgotten about Valeria's birthday. Valeria's birthday comes at the end of the story. So Reed is either working himself to the point where he forgets about it, or he's trying to make sure nothing goes wrong. This was one of the first books I read, so my memory is a little fuzzy on that. The final story is these two Doom henchmen. I would bet money it was probably Breen's favorite, maybe. It's these two Doom henchmen who built the Seeker robot from the Silver Age of the Fantastic Four. They're trying to get it out of the Baxter building. It was a really fun story about these two nobody Latvian henchmen. I thought it was pretty fun. So yeah, this was good for a little anthology. This was pretty good. All right, another one on the Zach only reading list, because I know Jay didn't even get this one. We got New Gods issue number 7. Man, so it's not a perfect issue. There is, Venkman called it. I gotta give credit to Venkman. He did call it. There was some refugee rhetoric that took place in here. When the New Gods show up, the DEO arrives and is like, "Hey, they can't. We got to take them to a secure facility." And there's almost the standoff.
Were kids in cages?
What's that? No. What happens is John Stewart builds and constructs a refuge for the New Gods, and them and Cyborg and the New Gods start working on
Cyborg.
Cyborg's actually the first character that also Miss Martian gets featured in here as well. Cyborg and Miss Martian both get like an early warning that the New Gods are arriving on Earth. All right,
I didn't know I was in that book.
He was in this book. Booyah. Roll call. So you got some of the good stuff in here, though. You got some cool stuff in here. So Orion and Mr. Miracle, who've kind of been at each other's necks the last several issues, when they see their family show up, they kind of put their grudge aside, which I thought was nice. You also see Orion finds out that Light Ray is dead, and there's this really cool moment. The art's a little weird on his face, but the point of the moment comes across where he like just breaks down and is like sad and grieving. So that was really good on Evan Cagle's part with the art, except his face is drawn a little weird at first when he starts crying. But other than that, it was really, really good. Also, somebody else has arrived on Earth. They find trace particles of another god who secretly landed on Earth the same time the New Gods did. So Mr. Terrific and Miss Martian are doing some detective work on that, trying to see who that is. And also Metron, he leaves the New Gods because he says he's got other things to do. One of those other things to do is go check up on the people from Apocalypse, Darkseid's lackeys, who have shown up on Earth. So Granny Goodness, Decide. Yeah, they're hiding out on Earth because I think what's going to happen is they believe that the new baby with the New God powers is a reincarnation of Darkseid. I think that's where it's going to go. I hope I'm wrong because I don't like predicting where the story goes.
I mean,
I
I
think
wonder
that's
how
what
that'll tie into what's going on with
the All In maybe.
no
with
no
the dark side?
no Superman not that Superman, what's it called, Justice League Unlimited. Remember, Grodd gets the dark side powers,
Oh, maybe. Let me see. Yeah, so
or there's no continuity.
you've got where is it at? Finding this art. Also, Leah Williams has a new mini coming out. for
Yeah,
DC.
yeah.
You know what? Given her Exterminators and how that went, this might be worth looking at. I'm gonna.
She just did one for that.
It's
Yeah, and
Terry Dodd?
it was
Bad.
yeah, it
Oh.
was terrible.
Was it a bunch of girls on misadventure doing risque things?
Was
Bro,
even-
they had
was
the beefcake cowboys that they just belittled. It was an all men
feminist.
stock thing.
Well, I'll give this one. Also, this
only
should
like
be a
Exterminators.
poster. This should be a poster. If this was a poster, I'd buy it tomorrow. This is beautiful. That Chris Samney cover looks amazing. Where is that page I'm looking for? Okay, so here it is. This is the one where Orion finds out Light Ray died. The face right here looks like he's about to blow up, but you can see from the other panels, he's just
I was
like
gonna say, it looks like he's foaming at the mouth there.
he's grieving hysterically
Or he ate
after
cake.
finding out that Light Ray is dead. And then the little boy that he was trying to kill comes and sits along next to him and tries to like make him feel better. And I was like, oh, that's nice.
And then he
So-
kills him.
And then I don't know who this guy is. This cowboy guy, I think he's working for Granny Goodness or from Apocalypse. He's like he shoots a soldier who's guarding the ark that brought the new gods to Earth, and so he's like trying to break into and get their technology.
Maybe he's
I don't know
related
who
to
this is.
Jonah Hex.
This is not Jonah Hex. His face is perfectly symmetrical.
He's related to Jonah Hex.
Yeah,
So he was
it's
Jonah
not
Hex.
Jenny.
Well,
Yeah,
now she's
double.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. So really good. This is probably one of my favorite issues of New Gods that there's been in a while.
Maybe he's J. Jonah Hex.
J. Jonah Hex. All right, we are in
Yeah,
the top 3 now. The top 3 books. Number 3, we have G.I. Joe, issue number 8. G.I. Joe is just constantly great. Baroness gets kind of upset. You can tell she's not digging the whole teamwork thing. She wants some R&R. So Duke says, okay, you get your R&R, but you're not going to go alone. Cover Girl goes with her. And Baroness kind of thinks Cover Girl is just like a normal girl. And then she finds out that Cover Girl was like a model and has been on private jets and Air Force One. And she calls Baroness's private jet cute by comparison. I thought that was really funny. And then, so they get to Paris and they're attacked by Raptor, who is like one of the lesser known mercenaries or Cobra-ish members.
As I said, he's like the stupid bird guy from Thundercats that nobody cares
Dude,
for.
you're not stupid at all. I thought he looked cool, man. I thought it was cool. Also, I appreciate that they rotated and changed the heads in the corner because normally it's not these 4. So they changed them up.
forgot
for the
about
story
that.
arc. I thought that was cool.
He could be the evil whitewash version of Falcon.
So this was great issue. There's also some stuff with Clutch and Hound. Hound is having to stay incognito. There's not really. Cobra and Destro. There's not a lot going on there. They do reference the big battle that happened in Seattle in the Transformers story. I do wish they had one of those little editor's boxes that said, "Want to know what happened in Seattle? Check out Transformers." Da, da, da. That would have been perfectly in place here.
As far as this question go about her retcutting her origin, I never watched the cartoon, but this is before. This is like Mars is just what Cobra.
It's a whole other universe.
Yeah.
So everybody's characters, they're going to be similar, but they're going to be different.
Yeah, and that's the thing with as far as Transformers 2. Everything it's set in the 80s, but it is a slightly different change on it.
Yeah, things are changing. Like Bumblebee is dead, so big.
Well, yeah, there's some creative liberties to be taken with this series, which honestly, I had.
I'm okay with it.
Cliff Jumper, I think, is a lot more entertaining than Bumblebee.
Cliff Jumper talks, so right there, he's got that going for him.
I know, right?
All right, number 2 book of the week, and Jeff was talking about this. Absolute Flash. Okay, this is issue number 4. This is the best issue so far, I think. I really dug this. There's a lot of characters and things that are getting introduced in here that I really love. We get our first look and mention of the Dibneys. We get Linda Park. We also get some name drops. Firestorm and Heatwave and Weather Wizard are going to be characters coming up in the Absolute Universe. So I thought that was really cool. I like Ralph and Sue Dibney. Ralph isn't like this depressed person he was after they killed Sue Dibney. He and Sue run a youth mission. I thought that was a really neat little thing. I don't see him having stretchy powers yet. That'll be interesting if that comes around. But yeah, this is the best issue so far. Wally on the run with Grodd in his backpack, and they get the place where they end up. The town they go to is actually named Iron Heights. So lots of little name drops, lots of little clever references. I thought this was really good. Best issue so far.
See, do you think that like 10 years from now, like, you know, after he gets his powers and stuff, he'll be canceled for
What do you
tweets
mean?
on Twitter?
What do you mean?
Ralph Dibney?
Brother. Best book of the week. And if you had asked me this morning, did I think this would be my number one book of the week, I would have said no. I would have thought it would have been Flash or G.I. Joe. But this book, I read this book like 3 hours ago. And I was like, oh, man, well, okay, let's try it. And doggone it. It just goes to show it's not so much the writer as much as the books or whatever they put that writer on. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you as my number one book of the week. Probably to the dismay of everyone on this panel with me. I give you Crypto the Super Dog, or the last dog of Krypton, rather.
I'm not shocked that you bought it, dude. Like, you kept saying play now you were going to buy it, but I knew if you bought it.
They put it in my pull box. I don't remember ordering it, but they put it in my pull box. It was also, this is one of the better Jay Lee covers that are out there, too. This is a pretty cool cover.
New Crypto or better Crypto?
I mean, listen. We're not talking about. I'm talking about the content of the story here. So it's Crypto. They show him on Krypton with Jor-El and Jor-El's wife, whose name escapes me. You know, they're you know, you get some. He shows a bunch of dialogue about how they're trying to solve issues with Krypton because of the earthquakes and everything, or Krypton quakes, whatever you want to call them. So they're coming up with you know, they're trying to design the little escape shuttle, and they need a test subject. And Crypto is like the perfect subject because he's like eager and he likes, you know, it's great. It worked out fine. So they put him in the shuttle and everything seems to be going. The artist, the guy who draws Crypto, I keep like, because I'm a big dog person. I know how dogs act under certain conditions. And so I'm seeing Crypto in like this escape shuttle and he's acting just like I would expect to see a dog reacting like a boat or something. So it's just really good. And then what happens is the escape shuttle ends up in a wormhole that transports him all the way to Earth. You know, and it's so sad because Jor-El and his wife, they notice that this wormhole is collapsing and they're not going to be able to retrieve Crypto. So Jor-El, his wife is like saying, talk calmly to him, don't make him upset or nervous. And like Jor-El, you're reading his dialogue to Crypto, and like, man, I have heard so many people say this. I have said this to a dog as he was dying. And so it hit like an emotional chord with me. Crypto ends up on Earth, gets out of his escape pod, and just kind of ends up homeless, wandering around. He gets, you know, tossed around in a river. Then he ends up going to Metropolis, is scavenging for food. He gets kicked at and almost run over by cars, which made me even more sad because I hate seeing dogs in like those, you know, arms of an angel commercial kind of things. Also, cool little thing when Crypto is on Earth in Metropolis. Everything is designed like it's 1950s or like old time, like not current day, modern day. So all the cars, everything looks like it's a Silver Age book or something like that, which I thought was really cool. Actually, I'll show some of that off. It's really, really neat. You don't really see him perform any feats of strength on Earth, but yeah, you see, like here's Crypto. There he is. They put him in the escape shuttle, and he's like all excited. He's going on a ride. He gets a little, you know, a little nervous or just a little anxious, I guess, and so he like lays down close to the mattress. But and he gets caught in the wormhole, and so Jor-El's giving him like some last words, and then signal lost. That was what, man. I'm about to cry over a freaking comic book, dude. And then Crypto, like he goes to sleep. He's not too worried. He's going through this wormhole. He ends up on Earth in his escape shuttle, and here he is. He lands in a river, and he gets like washed around the river. So he's assigned to Metropolis. So he takes off. He goes to Metropolis, and here he is. He's kind of he's scavenging, looking for junk. I thought this was going to be Bibbo Bobowski at first, but I was like, there's no way they would write him kicking a dog. So like he gets caught in a chain link fence. He's on the run. Look at this car that almost hits him. Like that's an old school looking car. That's not anything modern or current day. So I was like, oh, that's cool. They're actually having him crash on Earth like when Superman was back in the original time period. So I thought that was really cool. And then it ends. He comes across this nice person who's like, oh, hey, you're lost. You need a friend. And he's like, I'll protect you. And when I looked at it, at first, I thought it was Jimmy Olsen. But I was like, there's no way. Because Clark hasn't even landed on Earth yet. Who it is a young Lex Luthor who finds Krypto.
If they updated the whole Superman thing, he would have been born in the 90s?
Well, this isn't in the 90s.
I know, and I'm saying if they didn't do this line time scale and decided to do like what Ultimate Spider-Man did originally, just modernize it so everything was in the 2000s with smartphones.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like he'd probably be a freaking millennial. Superman would be.
I mean, man, but I thought that worked. I thought this was just doggone it, and it's Ryan freaking North, man. And I was like, you know what? It's not inconceivable. He wrote some good Fantastic Four issues that I like. Not recently, but I mean, the fact that he writes this good of a dog story. I mean,
is it all Jay Lee art?
No, it's not Jay Lee.
Oh, thank God.
The interior is Mike Norton.
Okay.
Mike Norton does the interior. And the art's good.
I saw it. You showed it. Yeah, it looked better.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't look like Jay Lee.
I was gonna say, like, did Jay Lee just decide to actually try?
Yeah, this was fantastic. Well, Jay Lee is a stylized. He has a stylized style.
Shit is shit. I don't care how you stylize it. It's shit.
Well, there's a lot of people that'll disagree with you on that because artists.
You know what? They like shit. That's okay.
But yeah, this is my number one book of the week. I'm stunned and shocked, but here we are nonetheless.
I am not surprised because I knew if you picked up that book and it's Ryan North, it's in your wheelhouse. You love dogs.
Ryan North is not my wheelhouse. Dog stories are.
You read so much Ryan North. You're enjoying those Fantastic Four books.
What are you talking about? I read like 6 Ryan North Fantastic Four issues.
You read like 25 of them. They're around like
25. I never bought 25. Never.
Brian, how many?
After the dinosaur one, I stopped pulling them regularly.
Brian, how many Ryan North books we have to suffer for Zach? Do you think it was exactly?
That's not 25 though. Brain would say one is too many.
Feels like 100.
No, 2 because I like the one where.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where Alicia was the blind private eye.
I remember that one.
That
might have been
I was
the one I
say
went back to after I stopped pulling.
I'm not a big Dan Slott fan, but his first couple issues of Fantastic Four were good.
I still have some of those too. I have
Rebuilt the Universe. Yeah.
I still have the whole Doctor Doom wedding issues, and I have the Reckoning War, which was kind of boring.
Brothers.
I do have the one where like every reserve member of the Fantastic Four showed up.
You took my drum set? No.
But then I hate what he did because he undid some character development from Hickman's Fantastic Four. So I'm kind of like, screw you, Dan Slott. He took a really cool character, a clone.
Said to no woman ever.
No back issues?
Oh, I've got back issues, but I figured you might want to get to yours first.
Well, Brian's going to go next.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't have that much. I'll go quickly through my back issues.
Let's see. Yeah, we'll let Brian go first then.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Brian will be like, we talked about this, we talked about this.
I have a ton of back issues, so I'll get through this quick. All right. Pastime number 7. We already talked about this. It's really not doing a whole lot for me. Number 6, Vatican City. They're trying the pocket of humans are trying to get out of there because they've kidnapped the vampire queen.
Yeah. And
they've got her rigged to a bunch of explosives, which obviously, if that goes off, the vampires have no reason to not slaughter them. Well, it goes off. The queen gets blown up. and so the vampires are coming in to kill the rest of them. Some of them escape on some kind of shuttle, and then they see this, they see this light that looks like it's coming from God. You see these big crosses in the air. It turns out to be nukes. I still can't tell who did the nuking, but they basically nuked half the world and killed all the vampires.
Huh.
So
interesting. Is that the last issue? It was a 3-issue thing, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to pick that up, but I guess I didn't have it pulled, and they didn't have enough issues, so I had to order it for me.
I got the first one. Brian said he liked the second one, but I just didn't go back. I figured if
I didn't go back after the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 5, World's Finest. There are parts like the little bit with Bruce asking Lois out. That was fun. The end was fun, but what I like about this series is the Silver Age feel it has.
Mm-hmm.
This issue didn't have that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think of social media influencers when I'm thinking the Silver Age.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
That's a good point.
the issue just didn't really work for me. But I said it's
what you said, and then I really liked, and I'm surprised Zach didn't say this. It's the freaking mech versus kaiju.
Listen, we have literally Godzilla versus Kong versus Justice League going on right now.
Oh, see, snub anything that's not that. Okay, that's what it is.
It's already done. Like, DC's already done it. And I also just read a Godzilla versus Fing Fang Foom book. So it's like, okay, now it's too much chocolate.
Oh, there's no such thing as too much chocolate.
No, there is entirely such a thing.
Fantastic Four fanfare. I didn't like this as much as the first one, but I liked it enough. I'm probably 50-50 on the third. Let's see when that comes out. But number 3, Exquisite Corpses. The killers are all out doing their thing. And a guy that was in the first issue that we came to kind of like doesn't get out of the second issue. And it's just, I don't know how long this is going because, as I explained, it's basically 15 families that basically rule the world from behind the scenes. Every year, or I think it's every year, they descend on one city and they all hire the best killer they can hire to basically go in and kill each other and I guess anybody that happens to get in their way.
You get more points for more people you kill.
I don't think so. I think whatever. It's like Battle Royal.
Okay.
The Japanese Battle Royal.
Because I would say Death Rate 2000, you get extra points. The more
no,
more
it's not like that.
Yeah.
And whoever and these are all like people with criminal records and shit.
Yeah.
And whoever wins gets everything expunged, and I think more money than God. So
you know what I'm thinking though? Even if this guy survives, they're gonna kill him.
We don't know that because because they've been doing this for years, and we know that. Yeah. So this was just kind of like a continuation issue. I said I don't know how many issues it's going, but this is fun. It's a recommend.
Have they shown past winners?
No. Maybe that might come up later in the story.
It's always a cliche they do that, and hopefully they'll do that.
They did the same thing in Running Man where they killed them, but then they made it look like they survived and stuff.
But I don't think I'm not sure if that's the part of the story. I think that's kind of like, being able to do this for somebody is the thing, because I said these people have so much power and influence. Mm-hmm. Anyway, number 2, Batman and Robin. We did talk about that. This continues to be an excellent series. And number 1, Flash Gordon. Did the real Dale die? Which Flash is Flash? It's some interesting cliffhangers. So I'm really looking forward to the next issue. Glad it's not on hiatus.
Glad, yeah, because the first time we were reading something and then it just ended. Battle Chasers, looking at you.
I picked up
good point.
First Crypto, which when Clark adopted him on Earth, He should have just changed his name to Ert. I'm just saying. And FF49.
Cool.
Nice.
So that's I said I've got a bunch of back issues, but I'll wait my turn
It's a
again.
lot cheaper than getting the original issue of that.
Yes, it is.
What is that? 400 more?
Oh, higher.
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah,
Is that to a
hang on.
grand?
Oh, easily.
Wow. Because that's the second time of Galactus, right? The second time he comes back.
Yeah, but all three of those issues are stupid expensive.
Wow, that's crazy. All right. We'll get through mine real quick, and then when whoever Zach, I guess, will do yours on.
Woo! Yeah, that's like 6 digits.
Crazy. Only 50 cents. Here, boy. Right.
Oh, hey. That's cool.
Right. Before Flash. No, actually, this was right around Flash Gordon. Done one. They brought it back. All right. Then the one that should have won the cover battle.
Did I not win?
No,
Rip.
When was that in the cover battle?
that was in the cover ranking.
When? Which one?
I don't
It was
remember.
It was one of them, wasn't it? Because he had another
No.
one.
No, they were. It was 171
So
where
why
she's
should-
like got her hands on her head, and there's a bunch of things like the pyramid, and then there's one where she's like bonded, and she's got like rather large breasts.
In living color reference.
Yeah, number 49 is $5,000 in mint. Actually, I think it used to be higher.
Higher.
Fire, he says.
Is there more of these, or is this the only one?
I think he quit the series after the second issue. I don't think it was ever finished.
Dang. I know Zach doesn't have this.
Nope.
Ooh,
I don't do comics based off television shows.
You don't even watch television show.
Yes, I did. Buddy, I watched TV Land more than Cartoon Network when I was a kid.
What do you like, Deck or what's his name's age?
I had overprotective parents, and older TV is cleaner usually and more.
Oh, can I watch more? Leave it the Cleaver. Sure, son.
Leave the Beaver, Gilligan's Island, Get Smart.
You're like freaking Sheldon Cooper. He just wants to watch all the old shit when you're like 5 years old.
Sheldon watched Next Generation.
May I
Star
have
Trek.
some? May I have some whipped cream on my hot chocolate? Sure, you may. Oh, gee, thanks, Pa.
Did you watch Young Sheldon? Because he does not talk like that.
But also, Get Smart was a classic.
Superior to Man from Uncle. I agree. Hey, I have that one somewhere.
Dear David. And then, book one. I was going through books for like if we should read tomorrow, and I was looking at the Brave and the Bold where Batman has to go in the wacky racist car, and I just was going through that. Like the whole issue was just awesome. But Pixel's joining us tomorrow, so we can't do that one. We have too many people reading with us, but that'll be next time when he's not with us. But so we're gonna have issue 129 and 130 tomorrow for our reading. And if we have time for another one after that, sure. But
Is that a burn?
these, this is,
Burn artwork.
I think these are Perez.
Okay. That's
I'm not
what's
sure.
my second choice?
I mean, it doesn't say either way on this. But I thought these were Perez.
Now that you mentioned it, it probably was Perez. Burn did her a little different.
Yeah. And then, of course, X-Men 202.
Hey, I got a dip, so
Yep.
All right, don't do it on camera.
no, I will see
Terrible habit.
you guys next week.
All right, see you, Jeff.
Good job.
Wait, which one? French onion? I love these. But once again, the weird curved claws, like Wolverine's got like, son of a bitch, my arms, every time he tracks them in his arm. there's that. And then we'll quickly get to this stack here. Punisher, number 6. Mike Mignola color. I didn't recognize it at first. So, yeah. And then we have number 7. Nuclear terrorists over Times Square. Cancel this book. I mean, they're not terrorists. They only want is free Palestine. Number 8. No Way Out of the Graveyard. Dude's about to give him what do they call those? The snap German suplexes like Kenny Omega does.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw him over there. And then we have number 9, the Ninja.
Oh, that's when Frank was like, "Hey, maybe I should use swords."
Well, Frank was on before this.
And then he says, nah, and just shoots him.
Yeah. No, and you're thinking of Jason Aaron with this crappy run.
That's what I was thinking. Yes.
Because you said Frank. I kept they're talking about Frank Miller.
Oh no, Frank Castle.
Yeah. A lot of crazy people with long hair. Look at this.
Very Mad Max looking.
Yeah. Remember back when headbands were great? The characters? Supergirl had one. Frank
Were
had
they
one.
ever really great? I think they were just a product of their time.
Spider-Man should have had one. They all should have had one.
No. That was the worst part of Quasar's outfit was the headband.
Kingpin rules. The top of the fat man. Look at them.
Bro,
So
that's not bad.
when people make fun of Into the Spider-Verse, how big the Kingpin looked in that movie, the first one.
That is 1,000 pounds of all muscle.
Yes. Jeez. And then here he is again. He's got fat Lex Luthor. Dear God. Then there's Ninja one. 22. The killing fields of Vietnam, I'm guessing.
Killing Fields, I think. Are
Summertime and the living ain't easy. But the dying in the killing fields.
The Killing Fields, I believe, are in Cambodia.
Vacation in Cambodia? Cool.
No, I took a mission trip there.
Oh.
The only place in Asia where they drive on the right side of the road, like in the States.
I love these snow covers. It always reminds me of the Neil Adams one with Batman, where he's drawing him and he's hiding in the snow. Final Days of Punisher.
That's a really nice cover.
Extortion. Part 2. Attack. I don't have part 3, but I have part 4.
Part 4. Parkour.
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 No, park over there, and he lands in the box, goes right through it. the empty refrigerator box.
I love that. I love that scene.
And then they have part 6. Again. And then he's back. This is a Crusader cover. 91. I love these, and on just all these. That looks nothing like John Bernthal. None of these do. Frank actually looks like Dolph Lundgren size. That's why I said Dolph Lundgren was perfect for him. They would give it a better script. And then for some reason, if somebody's missing a book, he sent me 2 of these.
The Tarantula.
I know I have 2. Now I can go sell one.
That's the Tarantula.
I got two also. The All-Star comics with the Justice Society on them. He sent me two of those. I think I might have bought two of them. I don't know.
I don't think I bought two. I think he just sent me two.
I can't remember if I bought two or not, but I got two of them.
73 Hunters and Killers, the Judge Dredd team. That's what it looks like.
They do look like Judge Dredd's.
And then what you thought Werewolf Cap was great. How about freaking bear skin rug?
Werewolf Cap is great, first of all.
No,
As if it's a question.
no, it's not a question. It's horrible. It's a question of who proved it.
Bob, who's your favorite son tonight?
That's a tough one.
he's like Palpatine.
Cap Wolf, not good.
Oh no! Oh, I thought you'd be on my side.
No.
Oh, I love Cap Wolf.
No, if you want an ally, DM Frugal.
Okay,
He
Frugal.
loves the Cap Wolf story.
Frugal.
That's one of the reasons why I said I don't like it. Because let's open up and bring up the whole
Be my ally, Frugal.
Frugal. All right, then we're on to Word Journal.
My gosh, how many of these does he have?
I'm almost done. Remember, he sent me 3 packages in a box.
Dude, my box.
That's better than a Madman with one.
I had a lot in my.
Better than a Madman in a box. Ugh,
I
yeah.
don't know. The actual name is with a box.
Madman
Yeah.
with a box.
Yeah, I was calling it in for months.
Look at this. What's up, bro? I'm on a ski-doo. He's just rented the jet ski to Punisher. Kiss that baby goodbye. I love that. So there better be a good scene in there where it blows up. Weaponless against the French Foreign Legion.
Uh-huh.
I love these little caption things like, when's the Punisher through with these ancient ruins? The past will be history. I love this. International Bloodbath. Punisher on vacation world tour. That's like it should be that. And then we have 35 against I don't know. Reminds you of somebody. Oh, yeah, that's right. John Cena. Two-man parachutes.
Hey, it's a Mission Impossible reference.
Right? Or maybe Mission Impossible is referencing that. Honed for Christmas. We're 23. Or 39. And then the art starts to take a little bit turn. You get JR.
Love some JR. That doesn't look like his work, though. It must have been
Look at the face.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't look like his normal stuff. That's got to be a different inker than who he normally has.
I don't know, but it's JR. You saw like the bottom right corner of that box.
Something.
Yeah. And then the final two. Punisher, the prize.
Excuse me.
It doesn't say who wrote it. It just says Punisher, the prize, Marvel Comics. And then the last one is Back to School Special. And it's shaped like a notebook. I love it.
You know, I'm not normally one to agree with the people that say Punisher isn't a good role model, but I think having a school book that looks like that with him shooting somebody is kind of
notebook. I love it.
It's probably not a good look for 2025.
Yep. 1993.
That's right. Those kids should be doing something wholesome like playing first-person shooter games.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah, they shouldn't be
All
doing
I'm
that.
saying is 93, there were some instances back then even.
So
that
there's a
might
new
make
book
that cover.
coming out next week or a week after that. It's a comic book, and it's going to be like a documentary or something about Wortham, talking about him and just like his life.
Why does my avatar keep going away?
I don't know. Are you all set? Who's set? What's next?
Let Breen go ahead. I've got to. I'm going to look and see if I can't find some other books of mine.
Okay.
You gotta get out of this.
All right, week 2 of showing stuff I got at the show. Black
Alrighty.
Panther number 13. First post Jack issue.
Yeah, Wes was seeing an alien book. Avengers was good.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Chamber of Chills number 20.
Nice. That's cool.
Giant sized chillers. This was half new stories and half reprints. It's actually kind of cool. Fantastic Four 71.
Ray Gunner. I was waiting for this. I know they had the Punisher in school and Drag Queen story arc. That's why he went to school. He wanted to go to the Drag Queen.
Fantastic Four 131.
Nice.
It's Prince Normal.
Prince Normal.
Number 18.
Hey, mister, are you all right? The guy's got a guitar, too, while he's on the beach. I love it.
I would show issue 21, but it was missing the last page, so I ripped it up.
I thought you were going to say Coco's on it right now.
No. No, I got it cheap, but there's nothing more annoying than when you're reading a book and it's missing a page, especially if it's the last story page.
Sure, I hear you.
It really sucks when it's a trade paperback and that happens too.
There's number 49, number 67, and here's the thing I spent the most on at the show. Giant sized chillers.
Wow.
First
What
Lilith,
a brain
Nice.
book.
which is actually also the first Tomb of Dracula giant size.
Yep.
And speaking of,
Because
there's issue 9.
nice. The Fire Cross.
Number 20. $22.
So whatever happened to Dracula after this series?
He showed up in Thor right before Simonson took over. Then he was in X-Men 159 and annual number 6.
The one with Storm, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
23.
Came like an afterthought.
27. Well, they killed all the vampires in a Doctor Strange story called the Montesi Formula.
Yeah.
And there were no vampires for about a decade. There's number 7 of Vault of Evil.
I know they just brought him back for that whole blood hunt. Somehow he was alive still.
Somehow he survived.
Werewolf by Night number 3.
Oh,
Nice.
I like the colors on that.
Is Where Monsters Dwell number 9. There's Our Army at War during the Go-Go Check era.
Unnamed soldier.
Nazi on my back.
Okay.
There's Shazam 34.
You leave Palpatine alone. He's awesome.
They tried to make this a serious book there at the end. It says Alan Weiss art. If you don't know who that is, look him up.
That's so fetch.
Here's Showcase 57
You're not Lacey Chabert. You don't get to say fetch.
featuring Enemy Ace. There's issue 11 of Dark Shadows.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
And now the part that I know you all are waiting for. Confessions of the Lovelorn.
Yay!
103.
I was about to say, is it all going to be horror books and war books? Is there any romance?
See,
Oh yeah, there's always romance.
I was waiting for. He's gonna pull up. Here's America Chavez.
I could do that too. I can find it. I found it the other day in my collection. I was like, I knew I had this somewhere.
There's Girls Love 153.
What did girls love?
There's always time for love.
Girls Romance
do
is
you-
117.
The freaking Mask movie.
And number 142. So Heartthrobs 124.
So which one were you reading during our reading?
I can't remember. I think it's on the cover. That's what I.
With the something about his sister.
Love and Romance number 3.
Oh, that guy's got a weird mustache.
My Romantic Adventure 121. The Our Love number 5. 3 stories. The artists are John Buscema, Gene Colan, and Jim Steranko. On a romance book.
Can you tell this? Cool.
And the cover was done by John Romita.
Can you tell that's Mary Jane and Peter Parker?
It's not. But the first issue of this, the girl looks dead nuts like Mary Jane.
Dead nuts?
Yep. Here's
Damn nuts.
Sweethearts 111.
Ooh.
135.
Nice.
Oh, I do Rhaegar. It's just not American Shadows.
Teenage Love 46. With 2 30-somethings making out. Here's number 63.
Dang.
Tron almost kind of like futuristic.
Number 71.
Jeez.
And like I said, if she's a teen, I'm a teen.
She's 14 going on 40, right?
There's Time for Love number 15, I believe.
Hey, Dr. Jones, no time for love.
And finishing up, let's see, Young Love 56, I think. And 85. Tune in next week for week 3 of my show stuff.
You should just hang on Jambo. Jambo went live for like I think 40 minutes.
Yeah, 30-something minutes.
Yeah. I caught the end of it where it just wouldn't let me rewind. It just kept showing him like a glitching out. So she needs to shave if she wants to look younger. Oof. Rough. Henry Jeremick, what's up? Says Eric Breen, as you probably know, that Fantasy 471 was part of Henry Month. One of my favorite books. I would have thought that you already had that years ago. Well, here's the thing about Breen. He says it every about 10 episodes or more. Whenever it gets brought up, he said, I used to have the collection, then I sold it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But now he's like, I'm slowly getting it back there. But he's like, well, facsimile is so much cheaper. I can collect it easy.
Well, there's certain things that are just off the table.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is that you have a lot of these still in trades.
That's true.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm going through my collection right now. If I have it in trade, I'm probably going to be looking at selling the floppy.
See, the problem is like when I get books, like I buy books, I'm like, okay, I bought these like 4 years ago from the same shop. I'm going to sell back to them. It's like, hey, these look familiar. I'm like, yeah, they were yours.
Yeah, I've been a collector and a reader for almost 50 years, and it's great having the stories because that is the only way I'm ever going to have the early Spider-Mans again.
Yeah.
But I also really, really love having the actual comics. And especially like, war and romance and Western, they just haven't been reprinted.
For some is, yeah, but like, there's a lot of these. I probably just going to have the trades because I'm running out of room.
Yeah.
And
like I have all of the Jeff Johns JSA in my.
I was gonna say if you hit all original in the floppies, that's a lot.
I've got the omnibuses now, and that whole collection is taking up space in my short boxes.
How many long boxes?
I've got one long box. So
JSA.
So there's about 15 short boxes in there.
Wow.
That's down from the 21 or 22 I had. I've got that much. I've got like 5 short boxes.
Now, do you come in? Do you sell the box too?
Maybe. Sure. I'm not going to need them for anything.
Because I've had them where it's like they pay for like, but they go sell. I bring a box and they're like, oh, and they're like, they thought the box was free. I was like, well, no, I'm selling you the books, bro.
I don't care
If you
about
want to buy the box bag, you can.
I mean, box is like $10 at the LCS.
Well, it depends. If you're using the normal boxes are like $8, but
Alrighty. Now this is not every book I got from me. Some of them came from other places.
Jackson, 50 years of reading in December.
But I did get 1 or 2 books for this little collection that I've been growing. This is some late '90s comics. There's an era where the adults were turned into kids, so I've been slowly building up that collection. So this is Young Justice.
This
These
is
are already kids.
I think I got those.
They show you all the
50 cents each.
There you go, man. Don't say that.
I think those ones I
This
showed
was
up.
actually $6.25 in Canada. Canada's been paying more for comics in the '90s than we do in the States. For
I
most
think
comics.
those is it 3 issues or 4 issues?
This is just one.
Oh, I have like a few of those, and
Well, okay, so hold on. So there's this one. This is Young Justice.
yeah.
They're all on their sides. This is Star Woman and the JSA Junior. So it's the Justice Society, but Star Girl gets aged up and everybody else gets aged down. So that's a fun one.
I'm okay with that.
This is that's fun. So there's that. Wait. Oh no, on the back I've got Justice League Junior. So this is JSA and then this is JLA Junior.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them, yeah.
Martian Manhunter, Plastic Man, Kyle Rayner. So that's fun. Then I've got the Wonder Girls. So
Those are girls. Yeah.
those are girls. That is true.
Dang. Cassie, that's what she's going to look like when
That's
she gets older.
Cassie is a grown up. I guess that's Diana or Donna. So
That might be Diana. She looks like she's younger.
might be. It might. It also looks like a younger Dawn. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. No, Rhaegar. Star Woman is Star Girl, and Star Girl is not related. To
I'll
Star.
just say this, though. Let Cassie grow up. If that's what she's going to look like.
And here we have Superman Jr. and Superboy Sr. So that's Connor Kent grown up. That's Clark Kent back as Superboy. So
Starwood is not related to some.
Have you ever seen the Teen Titans annual that Ed Bennis does the art for? It's set during Infinite Crisis, and Superboy and Cassie finally knock boots because he doesn't expect to survive the crisis. But
yeah,
I don't think I have that.
Ed Bennis had her well on her way to that bus line.
I had the Young Justice where she starts getting aged up a little bit.
She was not drawn as a 16-year-old. I'll tell you what. Now, some of these did not come from Me's auction. I think these came from my sister over my birthday. She found them in a thrift store. So we've got Mighty Thor, and it's not in great condition, but this is $3.29.
She found it at a thrift store.
Yes, and that's a pretty sweet cover.
Thor store? Yeah.
This may go on the wall at some point. Who knows? We've got X-Men and the Micronauts, issue number 1. That's pretty cool. It's Mohawk Storm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was at my shop too.
We've got this one. I think I took this out the bag to flip through it, but this is Fantastic Four 333. So halfway to 666. So that's cool. This is my favorite one though that she got. This is my favorite one. This is Spider-Man and Boomerang. And Boomerang's welcome to San Diego, Spider-Man. It's a great place to die.
One of the worst characters that Marvel did.
Look, you can say that. This is one of my contenders for favorite Spider-Man covers.
All right, Zach. Where did Boomerang make his first appearance?
Oh gosh, probably wasn't Spider-Man. Maybe it was.
I'll give you a clue. It was mid-60s.
Mid-60s.
Yep.
I'll can I guess?
Yeah.
Daredevil?
No.
Wow.
It wasn't Daredevil. It wasn't Spider-Man. Was it Fantastic Four?
No.
Oh.
Henry, quit cheating. Quit using your
thank you,
Asian
Henry.
knowledge.
Oh, see?
Tales to Astonish.
Yeah, caught the Hulk of all people.
I never would have thought that.
Really? The Hulk? Okay.
I would have figured he fought against Daredevil at first, and then he's like became a hand-me-down.
Well, that's
I
why
would have
I
more
because
Daredevil.
it was an odd choice to have him go up against the Hulk, but I think he was drawn like beefier and
Yeah, well,
but
that's interesting. Actually, I kind of like. I mean, he's got a cooler costume than Captain Boomerang, I think.
And then you saw what happened to him. Became roommates with Peter Parker later in the
Yeah,
modern day.
wasn't that in
that was in
Spencer's?
Nick Spencer's. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fortunately it got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't recall. No, this didn't come. This came from the
The
second.
Moloids.
Yeah, but it's Beast and Wonder Man, so that just got thrown in there. So that's a freebie. That's a little treat. Avengers right there. All right, this came from E's auction. I know because nowhere else would I find this book, and I also didn't take the price tag off.
I know. I like a couple more. I'm like, just take them off.
Take them off. Well, I want to be careful with them because I don't want to leave that.
No, I meant like like before you send them to me, just take them off.
So, of course,
Of course. And look at you holding your hand up too.
I'm holding it.
I'm holding it.
I'm holding the book. Oh my gosh! Yeah, Fantastic Four with She-Hulk and Nick Fury.
Elon.
And
And it's awesome. This could go on the wall next to the Justice League and the Uberbot.
Yeah, put on the one right above Mr. Terrific.
put it right next to your signed copy of Hansi. Jackson and Henry, I bet, got that reference.
But yeah, so this is fun.
Jeez.
All right, these I know also came from E's auction. These are fairly recent, so I remember getting these.
I think
We got a bunch of Johnny Quest.
Oh,
So we got number 4.
Johnny's like
No, Henry. I was saying you were cheating by having the age and wisdom to have already known that.
Also, yeah, we're younger. Like hey, we started out not knowing what issue Punisher debuted.
Mike Barron versus the Native American.
Spider-Man 128. Everybody knows that.
It's 127.
Oh, my bad.
Everybody.
Zach, what issue did Punisher debut in? Is Amazing Spider-Man?
Spider-Man 127 or 128. I don't know the one we just mentioned.
129.
I was close. I'm sure Johnny Quest books, and you're asking me about Spider-Man and the Punisher.
We're multitasking.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got that one right there. I kind of like the colors on this one. That's kind of cool.
Oh no, the old guy's gonna beat him up.
Cool
That's a
looking
cool
robot.
cover.
Yeah, I like that robot.
That reminds me of like those 80s animated movies.
I really got a bunch. I don't remember winning this many Johnny Quests. I hope that he didn't just give me books for free. That one's kind of cool.
Maybe you bet on the whole lot.
Maybe I did. Maybe I picked up a lot that didn't sell or something. He just gave it to me.
He's like, I'll give these out for $1 each.
$1 each, probably. All right. This one I think came from him because I don't see these anywhere. This is an issue of Champions. This is number 9.
Beautiful.
That's too cool.
The man, the cover artist.
Oh,
The
is it
great one.
Yes.
It's the
I
great
gotta
one.
get rid of
But
this
is he,
now.
is he inked
Somebody
by?
wrote a Champions cover drawn by Gil Kane.
But is he inked by the Great One?
Ask me again who's my favorite son.
Is he inked by the Great One?
We got some Daredevils. I like the action lines on this one.
Yeah.
I think that's Paladin.
I love me some Gil
You
Kane.
know, and that's more
it
of
is.
the awesome one.
Yeah.
But is this more Gil Kane?
Yes,
I just wish that he had George.
I
Mill
can't
pick it up.
tell if I'm not looking up anybody's nostrils.
They're there.
They're there. You're just not looking up them. You are looking at Daredevil here as he goes, ah!
I thought he was going wee.
Not going towards 2 buzzsaws like that. And then I think this is my last Daredevil one.
Another cover by the great one.
There you go. I like the sonar technique, the different colors in each ring. That's really
Do you
cool.
think Daredevil saw that?
Graphic Man was about to jump in and said nope.
So those buzzsaws down there, do you think Daredevil saw them?
Probably heard them. I don't remember if I showed these off. Breen, I know you were there when I got these. We got the Abnett and Lanning Guardian.
Ooh, those are
Well, I'll
going
tell you
for
what.
20.
The next time E looks those up, he's gonna
He's gonna
do the
kick himself.
he's gonna do the Drew Carey in the fountain.
Yeah.
because they've shot way back
I
up.
saw, dude, at my shop, and I was like, dude, I almost
Also,
got
I don't remember them being out. Like, I thought they came out well before 2008, but
No, the story started in 2005, but the Guardian series obviously started in 2008.
right. So yeah, this is the first issue. Hold on, Dr. Jones, we're going for a ride. We got number 10. These are kind of out of order. So we got Rocket. I think that's Blastar.
I think he says, "Hang on, lady," not Dr. Jones.
Hang on, lady. Hang on. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We got number 9.
Stupid.
Jackson got that one too.
We got number 8.
I
This
just,
one I love. Issue number 7.
I just saw that they're all in like some TV show.
I saw that too the other day. Yeah,
I posted it. I don't know what it's from, though.
the lunch lady. Mimi.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Hey, you want to go on a date?" So I'm like, "What am I watching here?"
We got, this is number 5 with Gamora and Viola Bell. And it's part of the Secret Invasion. I remember Secret Invasion. Man, that was some good
How
stuff.
much did you pay for those? You must have got a really good deal on those.
Oh, it was a deal. I
Yeah,
got them for a song, basically.
Yeah, like I said,
because they're like,
I tried to warn him.
Yeah.
I said, you think about it. I go, this was when they were at the low end.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't want you to have them. It's just that I know that's his bread and butter, and he was selling them a lot cheaper than
I would
may not have gotten a buyer otherwise. So doesn't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So that's all the Guardians. So that's the first 10 issues. Also, these I got from me. Now, these are this is kind of out of place, a little weird. I am trying to collect these issues, though. The Frankenstein Agent of Shade from New 52. It's a Creature Commandos kind of sort of adjacent thing. So I'm trying to find, and they're not collected anywhere. So this is issue number 12. So I'm just gathering issues that I can. That's number 12. But then on the other end, I've got issue number 1. So also from New 52. So the same run, I'm just at 2 different ends. So got those. These are for sure for me's auction. I can guarantee you that. There's another sticker. At least that one came off pretty easy. This is one that'll get me some respect. Maybe. I don't know.
In case anybody cares, number 1's triple digits again.
It was $100.
2 is 18. 3 is 18. 4 is 10. 5, 6.
Yep.
10, 7, 12.
The Guardian?
8, 9, and 10 are 10. But yeah, number 1 has gone back up.
Yeah. So we got Werewolf by Night. It's a facsimile. But
Yeah, so good though.
It's a good looking one. Clean. Another facsimile. I'm not going to bother with these price tags. I'll pull it off in a minute. We got Powers of Iron, the Iron Man first Hawkeye appearance, I believe it is. Look at that costume. Who could hate that costume? Another New 52. GI Combat number 1 with dinosaurs, because I got a thing for dinosaurs.
We know. Run, Breen, run.
I'm going to go see Jurassic World like opening day in 3D.
Of course you are.
Facsimile, it's not the real deal, but it's good enough to fill the spot in my collection. I think I have every Secret Wars issue.
How much is that issue? Because
well, this one was $4.99. I think
is that the cover appearance, and he gets it before or is it after the book?
No, that's the first one. That's right before issue 252.
Yeah.
Well, I meant is like, does he get he gets a suit in that book? Or is that the first cover appearance?
Yeah, he gets it in this book, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Not as well known as Guardians, but we got Starjammers number 1.
Yep. I see 2 reasons why I got that.
Gosh, you and your 2 reasons.
What? It's good coloring and the ink's done well.
I can't remember where this one came from, honestly. Spider-Man and Frogman and White Rabbit. So
looks like Rager's wall. He hates Spider-Man and he's got Froggy up on the wall too.
We got Thing and Tigra. I'm pretty sure this came from somewhere in the last 5 months. I think that's where
I think that E's auction,
It's got to be. These I know are E's auction. This is an E's auction book. That's the thing. E has been holding my books for months. I forgot that I bid on some of these too.
So that book, I bought that book in my shop, and immediately a week or two later, I saw another issue of that just pop up, the same price around there.
I mean, yeah, we got Siren and Juggernaut and Nick Fury and Jessica Drew. I mean, good lord.
Here's a little interesting information.
What's that?
The Spider-Man black costume the first appearance was 252. Then Marvel Team Up 141 and Spectacular Spider-Man 90, all which were published in May of '84, 7 months before the release of Secret Wars 8.
Interesting.
However, in Marvel continuity, the events in Secret Wars 8 take place prior to those issues. So that's how I guess they get away with that being $225 now.
I know, right?
Which is more than a lot more than the Marvel Team Up in the Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah. Here's one that y'all will love. So, Sergeant Fury with Captain America and Bucky. Pretty cool. Nice shot.
Let's go punch Hitler. Damn it. She beat us to it.
I already did it. This one I think I've shown off here before. I'm pretty sure I've had this one on here before. Secrets of the Haunted House. Pretty sure I've had that one on here before.
Is that a two-headed werewolf?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What?
Team Up 141 went from 50 to 150.
Wow.
Cheeky.
Crazy. Another Spider-Woman book. 2 more reasons to get Spider-Woman.
Yeah, the twins are there. The Blood Brothers.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the Blood Brothers. It's the Brothers Grimm. Read. So yeah, we got another Spider-Woman book.
$8.
Last book I have on here, and this is also a facsimile, but it is the premiere issue, and it is the first Moon Knight. So that is all the ones that I can find that are close by that I think came from East. Unless any of these. No. This might have. I don't know. That's another facsimile, but we've all seen Giant Size X-Men #1.
Yes, we have.
So that's all I got. Unless you just want me to start going through boxes. I mean, Lord knows I can.
If that's the case, then we'll set a separate stream for that. We'll just go through our boxes.
Brother, listen, you got it. And we'll do a 10-hour stream because that's what you're looking
And then we'll do it on Wednesday nights. So we'll call it the caretaker.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. But I know you read on Wednesdays though.
I think go earlier though. Like
if you're not, I mean, I said, or if you're whatever.
I don't read till 9 Eastern. So that's up the girls.
Oh, Jackson Roy Kirk, Astro City 1, Legends of the Dark Knight 46, 7, and 8.
Nice.
Doomsday Squad 4, 5, 6, and 7 is a Charlton title.
Nice.
Justice League 199 and some Mossy Blaze comics. Nice.
Very cool. Very cool. We like this.
Jackson's got a really unique, he buys some stuff that it's very unique.
I murdered Jay Lucian. Do I get an achievement for that? Like an Xbox thing pops up, 5 points.
Put it in the box.
Not a big fan of Carmine, the infant wino.
What do I have right by since I'm still on screen? What do I have close by that I can show? I've got another copy of this. This one's kind of ratty. Very ratty, actually. This is Avengers 221. It's got all kinds of frays along the side.
John Cena variant.
Okay, who were the two?
Hawkeye and She-Hulk. It's a nice cover, though.
Yep.
So I have a better looking cover of that somewhere. What else have I got in here? I'm going to go digging in here. I've got some Defenders. I know I got some Defenders copies.
Yeah, that's a me. Remember that cover.
Yeah. Speaking of Dan Slott, Fantastic Four, that's from somewhere else. Actually, I have his first one. I have #1.
Cool.
All-Star Squadron. I think I have another issue of this one, too. He did send me one All-Star Squadron issue that I didn't have. This one's not it. This is something else.
It's always great when your friend gives you some ass. You buy it off of him.
Darn you. Why would you say that? New Teen Titans, issue number 32.
What's even better is getting ass for free from your friend.
Better be more than just a friend if that's what you're getting. This one I've had for a while.
Yes, I have that too.
Yeah, I know you do.
Wow, how could I pass up?
Reasons.
How could I pass up the better World's Finest?
I've also got some just random DuckTales.
Woohoo.
This is from the remake show, which is actually really good.
2017 series. Yes, we were gonna read
Very
some of
good.
those on the channel.
Let's see. We got another Huntress and Power Girl. This is from the Earth 2 or World's Finest from Earth 2.
Speaking of books, I was we're trying to figure out when they put issues coming out. Rockefellers it apparently comes out not next week, but a week from that.
Jonah Hex.
Feels like it's been on delayed.
You're on delayed. I don't know.
I'm not John Delay.
Mighty Thor 446. Thor in space with Avengers. So that's pretty cool. What else do I got in here? I got a lot of Galactic Storm stuff in this box, actually. So we got Quasar.
Fire in the Sky.
Listen,
PTSD from
Carol
that movie.
Danvers is on this cover, and he still looks more like Carol Danvers.
I mean, that's triggering, but so is the Fire in the Sky because that movie is freaky.
This one's kind of cool. I like the coloring on that. I like the black silhouettes that everybody has.
Death of the Galaxy.
We got another Quasar book. That one's kind of cool. Captain America. America.
Fuck yeah.
We got. Listen, if Thor fighting Silver Surfer is the coolest, Thor fighting Gladiator should also be a contender. Like at least up there somewhere. That's cool. We got an Iron Man. Man, Galactic Storm goes on forever. We got another Captain America. We got Avengers West Coast. West Coast, Best Coast. And we got another Avengers.
Nice.
White Vision. I saw LK picked up the White Vision cover for a
I don't know who that is. He just showed up in the group.
Well, he's been in the group. He just hasn't been posting in a while.
It feels like it's been 2 years.
It has. I see him every now and then in Wes's chat. Also,
I've been in sports bum saying last he posted anything in there.
random Richard Rider Nova.
With boobs? Oh my gosh.
Those are pectorals, sir.
Those are boobs.
So, all right. That's what I got close by that I can pull out. I mean, I can always find something else, but I don't think people want to just watch me.
Well, we're not here to watch you whip things out.
I'm good because I'm not here to whip things out.
Moves, yes. I think Brains is hiding off camera. He's muted now too. He's just like,
Okay.
I feel like Brains just like you don't want to embarrass Coco by yelling at her within the wires.
Breen had nothing to say about the books I was showing off.
That's why he left. He's like,
No, that's because sometimes when you're old, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, I can appreciate that actually.
did Coco watch you again?
No, she's sitting in the card room like she did something wrong.
Let's see. Hang on. Let me see.
Oh,
Let me see something.
maybe she wants some cards.
Cards, like trading cards.
Yeah, maybe she likes cards.
Oh wait, here's a book. Hang on, hold on.
It is almost
We're not out
snack
the woods
time.
yet. We're close, but we're not quite out the woods. I forgot I had some of these hidden. No, that's not it.
So what are our thoughts on?
Two more.
Oh, you got 2 more? Okay.
2 more.
Well, we're looking at. So the
This-
new. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the new Spider-Man book to Jamie Mateus was continuation of the '90s cartoon series.
I posted about that in the sports ball. They did not even talk to the guy who wrote the
They
show.
snubbed, the guy who actually created the series, made it good.
Look, DeMatteis is great and all, but
Sure, but
that
yeah,
that
and
guy- well, is it good? Because he said he's the reason we have the Spider-Verse to begin with. So
Well,
every
not-
issue we have with multiverses stems from him. So maybe he deserved it.
J.D. Matisse didn't create the Spider-Verse.
No, the other guy, John.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
So all the issues I have with multiverses, he's ultimately the reason for. He's the root. Anyway, this is cool.
He's ultimately. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
He did the original Spider-Verse that Dan Slott ruined.
Definitely came from me. I don't buy these for myself.
I have that book.
That's pretty cool. I love this image. I just love King Kong in general too. So this is probably one of the few gold keys. I think I have some Tarzan gold keys. And
Zach is the one guy he wishes he could be on Planet of the Apes.
Now, Zach, what is holding those books up on your wall?
There are these little frames. They're not even frames because there's nothing on the sides. It's basically there's a bottom and there's a top part, and they have these little folds that.
Okay, so you just kind of like slide them in.
Yeah. You just slide
it. Like, would a gold key fit in there?
Oh yeah, the King Kong
cool,
one fits in there. So you slide them in.
Look at that dad bod he's got going on right there.
Hey, lost some weight too. I don't have that.
I know you lost some weight, but like I said, it's just.
We show this one off. That came from Reed's auction. I got this for a bar. I think that was like $12 maybe.
When Zach stood up, he aged about 20 years. He like,
buddy, you're not kidding. I feel it. For the last 2 weeks.
I saw that comment somebody sent about that you're at the wedding. They thought you were one of the dads.
Probably. The beard and everything? Absolutely.
Yeah, when I was grabbing that photo to do for your like your birthday thing, and somebody on one of the photo they had with you in the suit walking down the aisle, somebody said that you look like a dancer.
So Jackson, how do I attach it into the wall? So there's a backing that the top and the bottom have, and what you do is there's a little slot where you can put a nail or a screw. So they're nailed in there, and then they adjust. So if you need them to go higher, you can slide them higher. If they need to go lower, you can slow them. I think they were like $15 for a pack of 3 on Amazon. I'll see if I can find where they were or what kind they were.
You know, Zach,
I like them because they're relatively cheap, and so I've got 15 of them right here. So
if you start doing streaming stuff, you can get if you with Twitch stuff, you can do redeems for push-ups. That's what Celeste's husband does.
Push-ups. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting better with push-ups. I'm getting better with those.
Yeah.
So.
Those are cool. I mean, I said, I don't know if they exist at the time. I got pegboards that I now can't move because you'd be amazed how heavy a 4x8 piece of pegboard is.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
But I've still got one of them up in one of the rooms. But I used to have them up. I used to have 3 of them filled with like 48 display comics.
Are you using double-sided tape or like or using that 3M mounting tape on the back of your? Or are they nailed?
They're nailed in there. There are nails.
Oh,
there are little holes that I can put nails or screws in.
Yeah, because they do sell that. Or you can like buy the 3M tape. But
I'm not gonna do. Now I'll have to paint over them or refill them whenever I move out. But
true.
I like the nails because I'm not gonna have to worry about them falling off the walls at any point.
Oh, should use a shed finder. All right. The internet never forgets.
Never forgets.
Someone's gonna clip him now if you walking back there, and they're gonna make like a gif out of you.
I don't think anybody that watches this channel cares that much. If Jay does, I'll be shocked.
Right. Alrighty then. But yeah, the whole thing with the whole Spider-Man thing is like the one thing that really, other than just ignoring John Semper, they put freaking Marlin on the cover, a character that wasn't created until like after 2000.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. When they did that X-Men, remember when they did the X-Men 97, the House of 97, that Krakoa-ish thing? That wasn't around in the 90s. I mean, that was fine.
The thing is, I don't want Marlin anywhere near this. Marlin was a horrible character. He still is.
Yeah.
He was his whole purpose was to kill off other spiders. You know, and that's the whole purpose. Spider-Verse. I'm like,
well, part of that is what that guy created. He created the Spider-Verse.
He didn't know the Spider-Verse he created was finite, and that was done. It was done. There was no anything else. All it was is that basically Peter Parker has to stop this one Peter Parker from killing his Uncle Ben and all stuff, and do with Madam Web and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like, and then he got a chance to talk to Uncle Ben, from the alternate world. He got his console, and then after that, he got to meet Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Like, and that was it. That was the end of the freaking the thing. There was no, he got one thing they got to do is they showed Gwen Stacy married to another Peter Parker, but he was in that armor, that silver armor, tech armor that they that appeared for like one issue. I think it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Comic books. So I thought that was kind of cool. There's also in the video game too. I think it was an NES game. You get the armor. But yeah, I just at this point, just put it into cartoon mode. Like, why does X-Men exclusive only get a cartoon? Why doesn't Spider-Man get his own? You know what I mean? It's not like Marvel has multiple, and people are asking, can we do the Fantastic Four now? Continuation? No, we want Spider-Man. But I mean, and a lot of people, what people speculate though, they said because they're really trying to push that other one, that Friendly Neighborhood, what it was, the reboot one.
Yes.
So they don't want to put another one that might overshadow it.
So the frames, they're from a company called Collector Mount, spelled like one word, and they're it's like $10 for one. I guess they upped their price, but you can get them in packs too.
Yeah, I remember you shared it on Sports Ball a couple days ago. You're like, hey, I got a whole thing. I was looking through them. I was like, all right, looking through them all, and like, hey,
I've had these for a while. I had these back when I lived at the old house.
I know, but you changed them up though for all you.
Changing them up. Oh yeah.
So like I said, when you did that, I was just going back. I was like, oh, you moved them all, moved them all together and stuff, and and then I know, look, I was like, man, is anybody gonna crack the joke that there's no black guy on this as well? Like,
that's not true. Mr. Terrific and Jakeem Thunder are still in that JSA number.
I said I looked at that because
Night Thrasher is on the Mighty Thor with the New Warriors.
No, but Alex Ross wasn't the JSA Alex Ross, Mr. Terrific, on one of them, and he was blocked by the glare.
Yes, that is true. That's not my fault. It's the person who put the light where it was. Yeah, that's it though. That's the only two examples I got.
Control Shift Record. What? Oh, nobody would care.
Unless you count Fire, who's Brazilian, but that's not the same as being black.
I don't know. I don't.
Amazing Man. Wait, is that Amazing? No, it's not Amazing Man. Never mind.
Chad, is Brazilian the same thing as being black? Answer no. LP mounts.
But then, I think because I'm on the hunt, I'm looking for a Jeff Johns Teen Titans omnibus right now. If I find that, I'll have probably a dozen or 24 issues of that I'll be looking to get rid of.
Shops did not have the King Arthur Knights of Justice, Joe Crowell's book, so that's on order. And then I ordered the Superman omnibus, Superman Adventures one. So getting that, I'll probably get that a week or two or whenever they get shipped out. But it's like $60 for for that omnibus or compendium. Sorry. I figured why not? It's 1 through 29 plus up, and I was reading it. You know what else comes with it? That World's Finest standalone one shot, based off the animated series where Batman and Superman. We read it on here on the channel, where Batman and Superman meet each other, and he goes against the Joker and Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
Iron Fist number 12. Yeah, that's one. I've seen that at my comic shop since I was going there as a high schooler. It's been on the walls, and it was not expensively priced. It was like $40-something. And all these years, it's like, why has nobody bought this? So I bought that a few weeks ago with some birthday money. And then I went back with the rest of the birthday money, and that's where I got the full 337.
I would love to have that setup that Jeremy Adams has, where he has cabinets on the bottom, and he just pulls them out, and he can display which one he wants in the front.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think he's advertised that one before. I think on his Instagram.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm glad they are continuing the Flash Gordon, because I was like, I don't. It is kind of omnibus or what do you ominous?
Ominous.
Ominous. Yeah, it's kind of evil that like the comic geeks wouldn't have it listed after that.
I think it's sick and also kind of ironic that Flash Gordon may end up getting more issues than Aquaman.
You think Uncle Man's really gonna get chopped?
I hear people say that its sales aren't doing well. I hope it picks up. I would like for it to pick up.
What books at DC and Marvel actually are doing well? That's what I want to know.
Superman's probably doing well. Batman just always seems to do well. I don't know. They really do need to put out the numbers like weekly. Like, hey, we at least shipped out. Obviously, you can't. I don't think you can keep track of every single LCS and what.
And that's I'm gonna
start at least be able to tell like who's ordering what.
I'm gonna talk to both my. I have two shops. I'm gonna ask them when I go there next and be like, hey, what was your number one book you sold last week?
Yeah.
You know.
Batman, Superman, those are probably selling pretty well. The Absolute stuff, I know. Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, any of the Absolute titles are doing.
One of my main ones still waiting to get verified for Panda for I think it's called Penguin.
Penguin Random House or Penguin Publishing House.
Yeah, so they can verify the account so they can actually order through them. Because right now they only have it through through Diamond and Lunar. And so they're not getting all their books because Diamond's messed up, and then and just
let's see.
Well, trust me, if anything was selling worth a shit, you'd know.
Yeah,
because there's a reason why they don't publish them anymore.
Well, here's the numbers for May. The top 50 comics. Now it doesn't say how many sold; it just lists the top 50. The number one book for May was Battle Beast #1. And you got some Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Ultimate Wolverine, Absolute Green Lantern is in the top 5. Amazing Spider-Man is number 6. Ultimate Spider-Man is number 7. Godzilla vs. Spider-Man is in the top 10. So is One World Under Doom. Absolute Flash is the 10th best-selling book. Exquisite Corpses was number 13. You got some X-Men. Supergirl #1 was number 19.
Really?
Superman Unlimited was number 18. Transformers. Spider-Man and Wolverine was 22.
Where are you getting this?
ICV2.com. This is, ICV2.
I think I've heard that site before, yeah. It's old.
This data was collected based on the 4-week month from May 4th through the 31st.
Night, Jackson.
It is the top 50 comics, and then it doesn't say like what the number of units sold was, and then I guess they have a subscription. You have to subscribe for the top 200. The number 50 book though was Storm. It looks like. Wait a second. Let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. By units. By dollars. Oh, there's 2 top 50 lists. There's one where it lists the comics based off the units, off of the issues, or the copies, and then the other top 50 list is based off the dollars. So that's more based off sales. And it looks mostly the same. Storm is not in the top 50 on this one though. So I did see some of the Marvel solicits today though. They're doing like Punisher. Kills the Marvel Universe. That one sounds interesting. I'll definitely be checking out that one. Of course, there's the Marvel DC crossover. They're saying that besides Deadpool and Batman, there's supposed to be, I think, a Captain America Wonder Woman crossover.
Crypto and something else.
Crypto and Jeff the Shark, which could be good. Could be cute. And then the last one is Daredevil and Green Arrow, which is going to be written by Kevin Smith. So take that as you will.
What if they did Amalgam and it's Shark Dog?
Sure. They're also revisiting Battle World from Secret Wars, but it's with up-to-date heroes, I think it is, or Maestro. That's going to be written by Christos Gage, so that might be good.
Oh,
That's a 5-issue miniseries. Marvel Zombies is getting a new 5-issue miniseries.
yep.
Punisher from Benjamin Percy is being advertised as a 5-issue miniseries. I thought it was going to be an ongoing.
Hey, I was gonna say I'd rather have Benjamin Percy writing than have the Steve Orlando.
That's true. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. That's a 5-issue miniseries. We got some more Imperial stuff from Hickman and McKay and some other writers. Doctor Strange number 450. That's a legacy number, obviously. But that'll be coming out. They're resurrecting Iron Fist. Undead Iron Fist, 1 of 4. How do we feel about G. Willow Wilson writing Black Cat? I don't know how I feel about that.
Same way I feel about her writing Poison Ivy.
I heard
it might not start off okay, and then it goes lesbians.
Yeah. Thor's getting relaunched. That's fun. Jason Aaron's writing Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck. That's a miniseries.
Well, I know that his Uncle Scrooge book. I think he's the one I wrote the one of the Uncle Scrooge. One.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. There's the new Captain America by Zdarsky. Ultimate Black Panther is on.
So Zdarsky's returning to Amazing Spider-Man or something lately, later this year.
Is he? I know he starts the new Captain America.
He's supposed to be in a Spider-Man book. I heard that he was returning. So
Ultimate
that was today. Somebody say I think Jay posted in the chat that he was like, "Yeah, I'm back now on Twitter."
Oh, Straczynski. Yeah.
Straczynski.
Yeah, he is. He's writing it's a miniseries like Spider-Man Torn or something. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Blood Raven? Yeah, comic book prices are ridiculous.
They are.
Remember they used to be $2.99 or $1.99.
Drawing the line at $2.99. That was DC's thing.
It's almost cheaper just to get the trade.
Spider-Man Wolverine number 5. That'll be cool. New Avengers number 4. That first issue wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed that first issue.
I just feel like, what year is this? We got Spider-Man Wolverine again? Like,
Marvel Zombies, Spider-Man Wolverine back together.
Everything is just like, and then the movies are like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, more combat.
Oh, yeah, there is a new I Know What You Did Last Summer. How to Train Your Dragon, which is all the exact same.
And so it's like, just recycle everything that was great and hope it sells well again.
So you know what's funny? I was reading through this. So when they relaunched X-Men, they had Uncanny X-Men, Regular X-Men, and Exceptional X-Men. Those were the 3 X books, right? And they all launched at the same time.
Yeah.
Uncanny X-Men and the Regular X-Men. So Gail Simone and Jed McKay's X books, they're both up to like 21, 22 come September.
Yeah.
Exceptional X-Men, the Eve Ewing book that nobody is reading, only up to 13. It's almost 10 books.
Probably will get canceled.
I think it is. That cracked me up.
I really hope Aquaman does get canceled.
I hope not. I hope it doesn't. If it does, I hope that they move at something.
The only thing I would say cancel would be the absolute Green Lantern.
They're not going to do that.
I don't see how that could be any entertainment.
Green Lantern is going to be. I think Green Lantern is a big part of the Absolute Universe. I actually saw Casually Comics did a video talking about it. It sounds interesting. It sounds like a slow burn. So if you want something like you want action right then and there, it's probably not going to be the book for you. But I may check it out at some point. Maybe when the trade comes out. There's more Moon Knight. There's Predator kills the Marvel Universe. That's also Benjamin Percy. Bunch of Star Wars books that I really just don't care about. I'm sorry, Marvel. I just don't. And I'm not even sorry. There's a new Iron Man Armor Wars omnibus that comes out in September.
Ooh, that is rough.
Black Panther omnibus. Revenge of the Black Panther. Century omnibus. Ultimate X-Men from the early 2000s. X Factor.
Can you really call that Boomerang on the first cover 81 with Hill Astonish? Because he's throwing freaking like circles. He's not even throwing boomerangs. Shows like one boomerang. Ugh, ugly cover. Everyone takes a jab at killing the Marvel Universe. I'm waiting for
everybody. Deadpool, Punisher, Godzilla, the Predator,
Jason Aaron, Zeb Wells.
Who doesn't get a shot?
The good writers. the ones that were excommunicated, kicked out.
Excommunicado.
Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I remember that one. I think that's the one.
I think they gave Deadpool several chances. They gave him several kill the Marvel Universe books.
I think the first one is where Peter Parker was patient zero and stuff of that, and then like he knocked up Mary Jane, and like he was like the Spider like clan thing, and then it was up to Deadpool to kill him and stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah. When does Godzilla kill the Marvel Universe?
I'm going to read that, actually. I will unashamedly read that. Absolutely.
But like I said, I'm looking forward to that Punisher book. It's probably I think it's their first Punisher book since Jason Aaron killed Punisher.
Yes, I believe you're correct.
All right. But other than that, we've been going for 3 hours. Welcome to hour 4. We don't have a sign for that.
3 hours later.
Yes, 3 hours later. If you haven't already, please click like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also, leave a comment down below, my friends.
Bring Your Dragon. It's really good. And Ballerina. Two very different books.
Ballerina, I knew it was going to be great.
Ballerina is working so many ways to kill people.
From what I've seen clips, that movie looked good. My only concern was like they race swapped the main girl. So made me kind of worried. What else did they change in it?
It's not even an issue. Some people are like, "Oh, she didn't have blonde hair." It's not even an issue. And they explain the whole thing because people are like, "How can you have black Vikings?" Like they explain it in the first 5 minutes. It's not.
They say they're not Vikings; they're made up.
No, not at all. The village. Everybody who lives in the village, they're descended. They came from everywhere in the world that Vikings have been. And
yes, yeah, they were. Her parents were slaves, and they brought her over.
Well, they don't go that far into it.
I'm just saying that's how you get. Yeah.
No, the movie is fun. Shot for shot, almost line for line. It is the same as the anime.
My thing is just like, why change it at all?
MK, don't listen to the critics. The critics don't know jack. Ballerina is freaking amazing. You go watch it, and the next time you hear the word firefight, you will not think of E's voice at an auction.
Which critics are you listening to?
Yeah.
If it's not John Lovitz, I don't care.
John Lovitz.
The Critic?
I've never seen that one.
You've never seen The Critic?
No.
It's a really good show.
Ballerina is freaking great, though.
Anna Diamas, yeah.
Freaking. Not even, it could be anybody, but just the way the story is laid out and the action is done, it's fantastic.
She's called the ballerina because she was a ballerina, but then she became a Black Widow.
No, she wanted to be a ballerina. Actually, she was in a ballet, kind of towards the beginning of the film.
Yes.
I don't want to give too much away.
It just kind of looks like Black Widow instead of going to the Red Room. Yeah.
It's a much better Black Widow. Some parts of it felt kind of rushed, but Zach was not allowed to watch that heresy like us. That's true. That's true. I was still in MK. My parents wouldn't let me play Mortal Kombat. So...
Well, in case his mom was like, you can't play Mortal Kombat here in the house, but you can play Street Fighter.
I couldn't play Street Fighter either. We were only allowed to play Super Smash Brothers.
Zach's parents like, you can't play Power Rangers either. It's too violent.
Yeah, didn't watch Power Rangers. I did watch one episode of Power Rangers, and when it freaked me out and gave me nightmares, my parents said no more.
There was one kid I remember for Power Rangers, it was on the news because he beat up his sister. So you get there's this whole movement to they had to say oh, don't try this at home. WWE had to start doing this because people were trying to do wrestling moves and stuff. It's like they were trying to. His mothers were trying to cancel Power Rangers. Yeah. It's violent. It's too violent. I'm how is that violent? The Power Rangers get their asses kicked every single freaking issue. Dude, you go on the Megazord.
The thing that I saw, the episode I saw, somebody with the creepiest. He looked like Pennywise the way I'm remembering him. But he trapped the Power Rangers in a giant microwave and was cooking them into a pizza. Dude, that thing scared the bejeebs out of 7-year-old.
The thing is, I don't know which episode, but it sounds like one of the episodes I watched.
Man, I tell you what, and they're like these little remote control cars that were in the episode too. I remember.
How old were you? Because
seven years old,
okay.
Maybe close to 8.
Yeah, I was 10.
I was still. I was having nightmares. Dude, I watched some Jaws and some Jurassic Park. like 5 minutes and was getting nightmares. I got nightmares very easily. I was an impressionable child, so now I don't have that problem. But
Jeez.
after Jaws, after about a week, I brought myself to reality. I was like, I don't live on the ocean. I should be fine. I shouldn't have to worry about the shark.
Every 7-year-old should be allowed to play that Punisher game for PS2, where it is.
No. Every 7-year-old should be allowed to play that Superman game for the N64.
Dude, every adult should be able to play that. Force them to play it.
No.
That's one game I would say remake.
Superman for the N64?
You remake it and change the whole layout system, but still.
Rocksteady should make a good Superman game. They could, if they wanted to.
They won't want to.
Anyway, this feels like we're doing a long goodbye.
Superman in the style of Red Dead Redemption, kind of like the whole open world like that. Great. Anyway, though, we're gonna end it right here. So thank you, Rhaegar, for showing up. Little Rhaegar, we do miss you.
Little Rhaegar.
Yeah. Henry Jeremiah, great to see you as well. MKF. Blood Raven, thank you for stopping by or at least commenting. I don't know if you're watching or if you're just new here. Jackson Roykirk already went to bed. Then we had I mentioned Jay Lucian. Marania's internet's still out. So, but she said no. She said wanted me to say hello. Thank you to Eglantine and Dominic for sending the package. She finally just got hers just like a couple days ago. Her Christmas present. Desert Rose, thank you for being here. And I think that's it, though. I don't think
that's
anything else. Yeah. I don't think anyone else jumped in, but alrighty then. I'm gonna go watch that 38-minute Jamble live stream and see what that was all about.
I think I will too.
Yeah.
Hope nothing's wrong.
No. I don't think he knew how to end it. That's what it was. It was it was just kind of going a little bit. But anyway, though, I don't see Jambo pop up in my notifications that often. So maybe we'll have to have Jambo on these Thursdays. Have him just show off the books he got this week. If he goes, I know he goes to Comic-Con. He must at least go pick up some stuff. Back issues. The fossils were always picking up stuff they forgot they even had.
Jaws is 50 years old now, Henry. That is, I keep seeing ads for it on Peacock.
Wasn't just Jaws. I saw another movie that was like old too as well. It popped up. And it was like this movie just came out like 50 years ago. It's like what? But yeah, 50 years of Jaws. Where's the Jaws comic books, guys?
Well,
where's the Jaws video game?
Dude, the shark dies at the end of each one. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
What you do is you say it's the same shark.
No, the shark dies at the end of each movie.
If freaking Godzilla can come back at the end of -1, I want.
Godzilla doesn't die though. He just gets knocked out. He's rejuvenated at the end of it.
Jaws is too strong for dynamite.
The shark, you see the corpse. Its head blows up. There's no recovery.
And then it reforms. They should do this like -1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Imagine Jaws on a walker. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Eastern for Brave and the Bold issues 129 and 130 starring Green Arrow, Batman, Two-Face, and the Joker. Along with the Atom. Yes. Searching for gold. Yes. Be a fun issue. Later.